Blog Talk Radio.
About this.
I bring my life to the table. I bring my wife to the table. I bring health, wealth, knowledge, and self to the table. I bring no to less TV to the table. Conscious table. I bring no to less radio to the table. Conscious radio. Conscious Wikipedia. I bring DVDs, books, no to less media to the table. Killing fables to the families of the royals. I bring Kings County to the table. Restoring the royalty. The melanated Clark Gables. Soldier culture to the tables. The superhead rules to the tables. I bring 7 heaven seed balls to the table. Soul gold water to the table. Red and blue, the Big Daddy Kane. Ready, willing, and able to walk you through my stables. Full length stables. Back from the future like Bishop and Cable. To introduce the freshmen to the X-Men. And all of their candy excellence.
No question, class is in session. Report to the chat room, pen and pad in hand. You wanna be there early and beat the caravan. People storming the gate to get a plate. Them lines packed like the Happy Land. Either open up with the latest cuts or them rap tools. They're both out the latest trucks. From 9 to 11, we do it in the dark, like we used to do it in the park. For the most part, from the very second that the show starts, you're witnessing composed art, think Mozart, huh? The love received so far has been so hard. There's a few dudes to front, but they medullas ain't sharp, man, they so soft. Don't be thrown off any Zoloft. Avoid them at all costs, like raccoons or skunks. But back to the regular scheduled program. The program is sponsored by 7 Heaven. What else in hell can you get an open line to heaven at 11:11? Emerge out the other end of those meditation portals and elevated walk tools. Even some abort tools. Any questions, comments, or concerns, press 1. To everyone else, thanks for attending another session. I'm pleased to teach, but it's an honor to learn. Certainly, courtesy of KTL University.
Oh, please don't be frightened. I'm terribly sorry about this. You are?
Peace, 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 peace to you and yours, peace to you and yours. Welcome to Know the Ledge Radio. You are now rocking with the best. This is your host, the brother Red Pill, soon to be joined by my special co-host, the brother KT the Arts Degree, and we will also be joined by the brother Blue Pill, who is in transit right now. So I'm not sure. This is going to be a very interesting night, family, because I'm not operating the boards. I want to give a shout-out to Dr. Manhattan. Also want to give a shout-out to KT the Arts Degree. Those brothers are going to be commandeering the boards tonight and navigating the Nebuchadnezzar with us. I'm in Miami. Blue is in Phoenix in the airport. We are in transition or, transit as we speak, moving around, taking care of some business. So, the family is working with us, all right? But welcome to Know the Ledge Radio. You are now rocking with the best. You already know what it is. Thank you for attending the program tonight, family. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to get settled in. Welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome home, all right? This is Know the Ledge Radio. And we're going to have a dynamic program tonight, okay? The doctor's in the building, and you already know what that means, all right? Take 2 pills and see me in the morning. So I'm not sure if KT is ready, but I'm going to try it out. Without any further ado, I want to open up the line for my co-host for the night, caller from the 404. Peace. Okay, I guess that didn't work. KT, if you are in the call queue, you're going to see next to your number there's going to be a microphone thing. Click onto that, and then it will turn red. That will unmute your phone. All right? Or if we have the brother Blue Pill, caller from the 347-273, unmute his phone and bring him in as well. Bring the co-host in. But if not, I could just talk all night. It's just all gravy. Like, continue. If there's any discrepancy with the phone or me going in and out, I would just ask somebody who does have my personal number, just either text me or call me, because I won't be in the chat room and I won't know anything unless I'm informed via the phone, okay? So, and we may have an issue with the limited amount of number of callers tonight. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's one of those nights. But everything is beautiful, though. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the skyline right now, the port of Miami. Yeah, it's a good look. Cruise ships are on deck. So life is great. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who joined us on Tuesday's show. Today is Friday, and on Tuesday we had a broadcast with a very special guest. I feel like he was the primer, you know what I mean, to the show that we're going to have tonight with the good doctor. We brought on a brother by the name of Lennon Honor, okay? For a lot of the newbies out there, y'all might not be familiar with Lennon Honor. He was making a lot of waves on the internet in 07, 08, 09, 2000, around 2010, you know what I'm saying? I would consider him a pioneer in this whole YouTube video thing. He's responsible for the Borg agenda, which was, a 50-part series chronicalizing transhumanism via media and things of that nature, the Borg agenda, okay? And he was forecasting, just the whole transhumanism, which means the attempt or the program that these scientists and these engineers are carrying out, whereas they are attempting to create, cyborgs and artificial intelligence and artificial life. For all of us that are sitting, standing here or sitting down with an Android phone or, the Galaxy to our ears, we can attest that these smartphones have been dramatically, getting smarter throughout the years, and things, with the apps and all of the, just the whole digital realm and whatnot. So the brother did the video to highlight that. He also did a video exposing Rihanna's umbrella, okay, the video umbrella, and he showed the subtle meanings and the hidden agenda behind that and the subliminals. He also decoded Michael Jackson's Beat It song, okay, family? I bet you didn't know that Beat It was talking about masturbation, all right? Yeah, that's what they were dealing with. And he did an excellent series. He has a website. It's linenhonor.com. I think his downloads right now may be 10,000 plus. I don't know what network he belongs to, but it's looking like he is on par along with Brother Azazil's show, KT the Arch Degrees, Hollywood Decoded, Cosmo Physician Show, and a few other shows that achieved the 200,000 downloads in a matter of like 2 weeks on the network. These are fresh shows. These just happened like in the month of May, and they're already at about 500,000 downloads. So he's going to be part of that special club right there. Shout out to the brother Lennon Honor. Honors to Lennon Honor. He did an excellent dissertation dealing with the fear, the programming of fear, what it has done to our people post 9/11, and many other things that he touched on. One that speaks special to my heart was the whole the affairs of the heart, dealing with the relationships between man and womb man. All right, so visit the brother's website, support the brother, get with the programs and the courses that he offers, because he is definitely on the path. All right, so let me see real quick if I have any of my co-hosts in the building. Any of my co-hosts here? Peace. Feeling lonely right now.
Peace,
all right.
Peace.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
What's up, people? KT the Arch Degree in the building.
Yes, sir. Peace to the God.
Man.
Good with you.
Great. I mean, what? No Delay Radio about to hit 2 million by halfway through the year, son?
Nah, wait up. Look, hold on a minute, man, because let me get on my soapbox right now, bro. We already at 2 million. Did you not see the numbers? We done hit 2 M's. Like, it took us 3 years to get 1 million, and then we hit 2 right after that in about 3 weeks. Like, we already at 2. We going for 3. What Jay-Z said.
Wow.
1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4. So yeah, now it's time to negotiate, family. Now it's time to negotiate. Now we go to Sirius FM and some other places.
There we go.
Numbers in this game right here, numbers talk. Everything else is
numbers
knowledge.
don't lie. Numbers don't
Analytics,
lie.
man.
Men lie,
Analytics.
women lie, numbers don't.
Men lie, women lie. I can't trust you, but numbers, I could trust those. So
geometry all day.
Yeah, I mean, I think you opened that up because you was the first one with when your Hollywood Decoded, when the Avengers, when we saw the spike in numbers on the downloads on that blew us away. You was up to you did about 50,000 in a few days, and I was like, what the hell? Did they put that on Marvel.com or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, did that go on DC.com? And
Alex Jones gave me a shout out or something.
Or somebody, DavidIke.com.
That was wild. That's what I'm saying, son. You know what I mean? Follow with Batman, and then Django, and then Iron Man, and then, like, this year, everybody else started getting up into the G's, and now we in the millions. But, a billion is right around the corner.
Well, when you see a billion, family, all that means is that the information, and y'all should, I mean, that's something that everybody should pop their collar about, because it's not about, I'm gonna save y'all. It's not about the red and the blue, okay? You can relax. It's about the plethora of teachers that are being introduced to, because that's a whole new audience. So there are audience out there that are being introduced to the dynamic, wonderful, beautiful teachers that we bring on this show. And our main purpose and goal is to introduce those teachers, right? Because if it weren't for KTL, I don't know. You tell me. You know what I mean? Throw a name at me. Shout out to Abundance Child. Shout out to Curtis, the brother Curtis, with the Occult Network.
That's it.
Shout out
Blue.
Shout out to Miss Blue, okay, with Miss Blue show with Panic and Bobby and everybody. And there are a few others, but when I say a few, I really mean a few. We're on one hand only. We don't have to go to two hands. Okay?
No.
Shout out to Coach Kaye.
Oh,
all right?
yeah. That's right.
There's a handful. Everybody else, they worried about just them. Okay? They don't nobody else
the listeners and the listeners, for the people that's tuning in, because we could be talking this stuff all day, all night, bringing people from whole other galaxies, beaming them down like Scotty, but the people are tuning in, they're downloading, they're sharing it with their friends, they're listening. Most of the people I know, they got their smartphone in their headphones, and when they're at work, they pop them headphones in, and they listen to the downloads and the archives at work all the time.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they like, it gets me through my day. It gets me through my shift. It gets me through this. It gets me through that. And they got so much to choose from. It's amazing. It's a super Netflix, man. Ultra Netflix.
Well, wait till they get a load of what we are working on in the future.
Oh, nah. You already know. You already know. This is just the fetus. We ain't even been born yet. It's just gestation right now.
Yeah, this shit is an incubator, okay?
That's right.
This is KTL test tube, baby. You know, we just warming it up. You know what I'm saying? We got that yellow light that you see in KFC. They got that yellow light on the baby. It's just being gestated.
It's just gestation, percolating. There you go.
And
yeah, man. So
I want to give a shout out to one of our partners, the brother Atin. You know what I'm saying? He has gone ahead and put together one of the most dynamic websites that the family will ever see, okay? I'm going to talk about it in more detail on the next show, but for now, I want to just tell the family that we went ahead and created a website called theeventcentral.com. That's the, not the, like no ebonics, theeventcentral.com. Now, what theeventcentral.com is for the family that's out there is a one-stop shop website that will be able to help everybody in the conscious community and everybody outside of the conscious community to go to one website and see all of the events that are occurring everywhere around the United States of America and the globe at the same time. So we know that Dr. Umar Johnson does a lecture, 2 lectures a day damn near. Like, he'll be in Nebraska early in the morning and be, like, in Chicago later on that night. Like, he's one of the hardest working lecturers that I've ever seen. Brother Polite is another one. He's always doing something. Brother Seti is doing something all of the time. We have a lot of different lecturers that are doing something, but if I don't subscribe to their Facebook page, the thing with this 5,000 friend limit has restricted a lot of people from even growing. Like, Mark Zuckerberg is a complete fool for that. You know what I'm saying? For not allowing more people to be accepted into these networks. I don't get it. Like, I'm trying to figure out why they do that.
And then when you just try and send a message out, when you put a post out, it only reaches about 25 people now. So even if you do have 5,000 don't get the message.
5,000 doesn't get the message. They've done something on Facebook that has completely begun to block people. Like, a lot of my stuff only reaches people that are active on my friends list, which is about 250 people out of 5,000 people. So there's people that would never even see my feed now, and that's cool.
That's right.
It is what it is.
You got to pay $7.
Had our impact. Exactly, because they're trying to monetize it. So we had our impact on Facebook. I'm done with Facebook. I'm good. Like I'm so, you can miss me with Facebook. You know what I mean? We had our Facebook glory days before the movie came out. We're on to other things now. It's time to consolidate. Bigger, better. So it's time to consolidate what it is that we're doing on a server that we built, on a network that we built, and websites that we own and we create. So theeventcentral.com will be your one-stop shop for both events. Let's say that you have a restaurant in a certain area and you want to promote that. Let's say that you have a bookstore. Let's say that you have a DVD store. Let's even say, I'm going to even reach that far and say, you got a barbershop, because, hey, I'm not hating on the barbershop. That's where our people converge.
You can't hate on the barbershop.
Shout out to the family in the barbershop. That is
Heroes
some of our
at home,
church.
baby.
That's it. That's our church right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we come to preach the gospel. You know, a brother, I think Abed told me.
This is the best thing since the wheel. This is the best thing since the wheel, homeboy. I mean, I don't think the people are understanding what you're saying right now in terms of what you're debuting tonight. That is phenomenally huge, homeboy. That's Godzilla Pacific Rim big right there, boy.
I know we gotta make moves, family. You know what I'm saying? It's all part of the growth process, and you know, we doing this for y'all. Now, I came on the show about 2 weeks ago and spoke of the importance or the need for us to begin having social events outside of lectures. We need to come together at night under the moon, not under the sun all of the time, under the moon where the rituals occur. Rituals and ceremonies occur under the moon. You feed in the moon. You feed in that energy. People come together and they listen to music and they drink spirits. And they chant, and they come together. There's a sexual energy. There's an attraction. There's magic in that. Talk to Azazel, a.k.a. Azariah. And there's other things that occur. Case in point, you can look at every other subgroup, other niche markets. They are utilizing the club. They're utilizing the social atmosphere to win, to get their ideas, to get all of that to grow. Knuckle draggers. They perfected the club. That's their altar. You feel me?
Man, let me tell you something. That, like I said, man, you're debuting I mean, I knew with Phil coming on tonight, I knew you were going to be debuting some power, you know what I mean? And with it being summer, that's something that the people need, because when we have these lectures, we get this information, the people are usually quiet in the audience because they get so intimidated by the onslaught of the download. And then when they go home, they like, man, I got so much to do. And you need something to balance that. You need people to be able to rewind, to kick up, to mingle, to socialize in an environment that is inviting. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We don't have to have the Jack Daniels. We don't have to have the Bellevue. We can still have the green juice.
Wine. Wine.
You know what I mean?
Gold water with minerals in it. You may have some spirit.
The tonic.
We'll find out
right.
Yeah, we'll find out what Bobby and Panic recommend spirit-wise. That old goon liquor.
Between me and Blue, you know, we already got the lineup of all the beverages in order for us to drink to promote, you know, the best communication possible. You know, it's just, you know, now, it's about time for something like that.
Now, and to show you that there's time for that, what's occurring musically, we have a soundtrack now, family. We have Sarak the MC. We have Narubi Selah. We have DJ Soul Messiah. We have DJ Heru Supreme, who was Lawrence Hill DJ. He's down with us. Hold on. We got Africa and honor, baby. I need a palm.
We have Red and Blue. What are you talking about?
We got A.A. Rashid.
We have the Pillars.
We got the Pillars. We got KT the Art. We got the Scorps. We got KT the Arch Degree. We got Patara Tahuti.
Come on now.
Okay. We have the Super Hero.
The Almighty MC.
Okay.
We got the Almighty MC. We got Amon Ra. Black Dot.
We got Africa Bambaataa as a DJ, family. Like,
come on.
we got we got the father, right? Who we got the father who's humongous overseas. We ain't worrying about the States because they sleeping over here. Who's a legend overseas. And the music that he gave birth to and the music that he pioneered is the biggest growing music market right now. How that Daft Punk, okay? All of that electronic music, what do they call that? ED something.
Oh, yeah.
Electronic dance music, EDM.
That's right.
Electronica, all of that shit is coming from Bambaata's brain. That's Bambaataa. He's the father of that. He's the godfather of hip-hop, but he's also the godfather of electric music. Okay.
Look, real quick. I was building with a young guy today. He's about 19. He's in school for airplane maintenance, right? He's a beast. He a Leo with Scorpio rising, so you already know what he on. He been messing with KB. KB blessed him with the keys, made him a scepter, right? He showed me the scepter today. I was like, oh, man, do you know where that scepter's been? I was like, man, that's been in the hands of greatness. Bambaataa held it, and he looked me in the eye, and he said, who's Bambaataa?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Up.
So I had the opportunity today to bless a young God and introduce a whole nother way of thought and music into his lexicon. And, I mean, it felt beautiful. I didn't feel down. I felt great because I know now he's going to be aware of such a thing.
Mm-hmm. You gave him the upgrade. So we got all of these. We got, and I'm just scratching the surface, family. It's so many other. We got Erykah Badu. We got revolutionary Kanye, huh?
Hold on. Where's Badu at?
We got her music that we'll be playing.
I'm about to say, just let me know wherever she's going to be. Let me know.
We got DJ Badu. She's coming on board.
Okay.
I'll let you know after I find out. Holla. Yeah, you got to get in line. You got to get in line. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to get in line, bro.
Just let me know. As long as I'm in line. Hey, man.
Uh-huh. I mean, we even got the Electronica, once you forgive him for what he's done with the Rothschilds. You know,
hey,
I'm just
man,
saying,
he getting some bread right now, son.
We got Joey Badass.
Money.
We got Joey Badass. We got the Underachievers. We got J. Cole. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, family? We don't have to listen.
We got Absol.
To what? We got Absol. We got Kendrick Lamar.
Come on, man.
Montana and Trinidad James all day. You don't gotta pop a Molly and family. Hey. And we got Fela. We got the drums. Where can you go as a god to meet a goddess? You can't do that thing at lectures. You know what I mean? Like, they'll tell you to be quiet in the back. Ain't enough time to really get it in. Where can the goddess go to meet a god? You can't do that on Facebook because they be putting up posts saying, oh, these gods are too thirsty, they don't have no game and all of that stuff. Because, you know, it's a social network, but you're not going to see the love of your life. You're not going to meet the queen of your dreams on Facebook. You got to go to a social setting. You got to go to a lounge or somewhere else that's more comfortable and welcoming to do these things.
Let's have time to have a good time, man.
Exactly. One second, bro.
There we go. So,
theeventcentral.com is here to solve all of that, family. Before we even get into social events or parties or lounges, we have to create this platform first and foremost. Yes, we have to create this network first and foremost. I'm looking for promoters. I'm looking for people who are willing to come on board. I'm looking for performers. I'm looking for people who have businesses. I'm looking for entrepreneurs. I'm looking for people who have books that they're launching, DVDs that they're launching, documentaries that they're launching, clothing lines that they're launching, storefronts, brick and mortar, websites that they're launching. Anything that you are doing, it's an event. Holler at us. We have a fill-out form on the website, serious inquiries only. And we will send you the rate sheet. We will send you the price quotes and all of that things. Your answers, your prayers have been answered, family. This is how you move forward.
And I know it's a prayer being answered, because one thing I know for sure here in Atlanta, and I know a lot of people can agree with me, is I find out about events usually 2 to 3 days before they popping. sometimes day of. You know what I'm saying? I know that flyer and I know that event was planned 3, 4, sometimes 6 months before, but I'm just getting the information that Francis Crest is going to be here, or that Red Pill is going to be here, or that Phil Valentine is going to be here. You know, so this is definitely, you know, more than needed. Is right on time. You know what I'm saying? It's just on time that we have ourselves a platform and a network where we capable of tuning in and finding out, okay, maybe you going out of town. When you go out of town and you visit in that city, don't just go to all the city's attractions. Let's find out, you know what I mean, what area is the conscious going to be at. And you're going to be able to find that out because you can look all over the country and see what's popping throughout the 50. Shoot, throughout the globe.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Internationally.
Yes, indeed. You know what I mean? So that's what's going down. Visit the site, family. I'm not in the chat room. If you are in the chat room, KT, can you kindly just drop that link for the family?
Say it one more time. Say it one more time for me.
THE Event Central.
You said the Central event?
No, eventcentral.com.
Eventcentral.com. Got you.
Yeah,
Eventcentral.com. Yeah, I'm going to put it in.
Okay. And if you listen to the show on the archive, you can also visit the site.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Peace, family. This is Mr. Reed Manhattan. KT the Arc Degree and Red Pill's call to drop, so please stay on the line. We'll try to reconnect them. Thank you for your patience. Okay, everybody. They still haven't called in yet. I'm going to attempt to bring in Dr. Phil Valentine. I see him in the call queue. Just give me a second, please. Caller from the 646-220. Dr. Phil, you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you, Dr. Valentine? This is Mr. Reed Manhattan. I don't know where Red Pill is. I don't know where KT the Arc Degree is, so I guess it's just me and you, brother.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I want to say thank you for being in attendance tonight. It's greatly appreciated. A lot of people showed up tonight. So I'm new with this whole thing. So I'm gonna let you do what you do. I know that the topic is one up on the frequency. So with no further ado, KTL, Dr. Phil Valentine, take it away.
Well, I'm not into really just talking straight ahead. I'm usually fielding questions, but Brother Red and Blue had invited me to speak about my appearance next month at a private location for Saturday, the 15th of June, and the public event, which will be held at the National Black Theater in Harlem. That's on Fifth Avenue between 125th and 126th.
Hold on, I think I see Blue Pill in the call queue. I'm going to try to bring Blue Pill on because he's a lot better at this than I am.
Okay.
Bear with me, please, Dr. Valentine.
No problem.
Yeah, I need a crash course in operating Blog Talk. Give me 1 second, please hold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry about this, family. Is that Blue?
That's Red, man. Pardon me.
Okay. Red's here. I'm trying to bring Blue in.
Yeah, Blue is coming in too. Dr. Valentine, if you are on the line, we are going to come and get you in 1 minute. Did you open his line?
Yeah, Dr. Valentine's in.
Oh, greetings. Peace, Dr. Valentine.
Peace, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Dealing with this technology. I got one of those. My Android is acting like an Android. It's very interesting. But nevertheless, all is well. Welcome to Know the Ledge Radio. Welcome back. How's everything going on with you, sir?
Well, apart from the anti-droid circumstance at this point, I'm doing well, brother. Doing well. I know what you all are doing. Listen to some of the works that you all are accomplishing, and very proud of you all. I know the elders, like my Bobby and so, you all are doing the work. You're carrying it forward. The torch definitely is staying lit, and we're very proud of you all.
Well, you know what they say? They say when you pass the torch, you lit many a fires. So this is one of the bushes that are burning. You know what I mean? There are bushes burning all around the globe at this point that you and Bobby are responsible for lighting. So, I'm just a little shimmer. I'm a little shimmer. Speaking of Bobby Henry, can you give us an update on good brother Bobby?
Yes, I talked to his queen today at length, and she and I are in communication. I have told her that I am dedicating my Sunday lecture to him, and what we're going to do, we're going to see from that point what we're going to be doing. She said he's resting well, and he's in and out, and he's being his cantankerous self. He's talking about, get me out of here. And then he lapses a little bit, So every now and then he shows.
Yeah, I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, look, man, Bobby, he's talking to them, them spirits brought him over there real quick to talk to him. I'm sure whatever information that he's going to bring back is going to be dynamic. You know what I mean? There's no other way you're dealing with that underworld and those spirits what we appear on the humanistic level or this earthly level, we see it as tragedies and things like that. But sometimes that's just a pass to go over there to get what you got to get to bring back. So I look at that optimistically, and I send love and light to the brother and to his family, and also to everybody that's out there, because I've heard about the support pouring in, and I definitely want to say that that made me smile. You know what I mean? Because I'm very critical about the lack of support that our elders and even our young masters and our master teachers get from the community. So when I see the family come together with overwhelming, when they pour their support out like that, it gives me a lot of hope, and it gives me a lot of it actually just makes me know that we're out there, you know what I'm saying, and we do care. So thank you for everybody just for doing what you do.
Mm-hmm. I hate to interrupt, but I think Blue and KT are on the line. If Blue and KT are there, please say something so we can hear you.
All right, Brother Blue, you there?
What's good?
Okay. Yeah. Blue, that's you?
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Apologize to the classroom for showing this late. I am about to take off the flight. I'm en route to another location to, like the brother said, continue to explain torture. So I definitely want to thank you for everyone gathering here tonight. I actually was in the audience August 8, 2003 when we did the first one up on the frequency with Dr. Valentine, Brother Chris, and our brother Shabazz. So this is very meaningful. I'm passing the torch to you, Brother Red, KP, and Mr. Manhattan, and I know that you will handle it accordingly, and hopefully we'll set the stage and we can allow Dr. Valentine to do what he has shown up tonight to do. With definitely want to say thank you. Peace and blessings, brothers.
All right, Blue. Safe flight, safe travels, and we'll build with you on Tuesday. All right. Okay, Dr. Valentine.
Yes.
Well, let's get right into it. Why don't we? Now that we got all of the announcements out of the way, all right, shout out to Brother Blue Pill and everybody else that is, traveling and doing what I got to do over the weekend. But we have a very, 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 very special day coming up in New York City. Everybody is going out to get their best outfits. and nah, for real, because at the BAM Dance Africa Festival, that was the talk of the festival. Everybody was talking about, that event where you were coming back into town, especially, with the curiosity that the family had regarding our brother Bobby Hemmett. Everybody wanted to know what's going on with Dr. Phil. What is he going to talk about? And then it was turned up about 10 more notches when it was announced that Queen of Four will be joining you on the bill. This one will be something that no one could miss. So can you briefly just give the family an update about what's going down in New York City on Father's Day weekend?
Well, Father's Day weekend, we have to thank our good brother Sultan King Simon. We got to give him a shout out because he's one of the hardest working men on concrete. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That boy has made his footprint all over New York. I'm sorry?
Do you know how hard and dedicated his grind is right now?
Oh, yeah.
His outfit, he color coordinates his outfit to the color of the flyer now. So if he's handing out a blue flyer, he's wearing all blue. I just saw it, blew me away the other day. I was like, this thing is embodying you right now. Like you have become the flyer.
Yeah. He is the town flyer. He's the one that goes around the town to let the town know what time it is. And that good brother has been pounding the pavement. Mr. Concrete himself, that boy has been all over the boroughs doing what he does the best, and that is to alert the people, to wake up the people, to let them know of the events. Because if it wasn't for old school hustle like he has, a lot of people would not get to know what's going on in the community. His service is invaluable because since everybody's kind of caught up on certain things that they do on the computer becomes kind of a zoned out place where everybody goes to find their own special niche, their own little drug. But on the street, you get to meet everybody. The traffic on the internet ain't nothing but the traffic on the street. That's one-to-one. That's 3D. And when you're in 3D and you're in definitely the real zone, that's when the real communications, that's missing today. And this brother is keeping that torch, that one-to-one, real school, old school, one-to-one connection to his community.
One-to-one,
and he needs to be lauded, definitely.
He's a one-man street team.
Yeah, and that's essentially it's very good now, and it's apropos that it's called One Up on the frequency, which is on the Saturday, and this brother being one-to-one with the people and the family, and he's a legend as well as in his own time for what he does as a promoter. So every time he reaches out to me, I try my best to accommodate the situation that he has, and we get together to offer to come out. Because, I stopped lecturing. I'm not doing lectures like I've been doing. And, there's only certain people that can call me to come out and do anything because of the integrity that they show. And so when brother called me and said, let's do something for Father's Day, which is essentially, now that my queen was talking about when Bobby had gone through his trials, he'd been called to the upper office to get some new instructions to bring back. She was saying about the fact that, he's, like you, one of the founding fathers of the conscious community, because we were going back in the early 80s doing this before people even knew that people were doing this, only in their little corner. And it was actually because of media that knew what was going on. We were introducing something different. We were talking about something different. At that time, it was pretty much nationalism and black power and those things, but nobody was really digging into metaphysics and getting into it that deeply and trying to bring people into a whole other conscious modality and taking it to the streets. So, my queen said he's, that he should be considered, along with you, Delbert, and so forth, as one of the founding fathers of that. Yeah. So I said, well, that's what I'm going to do on Sunday, to dedicate that to let the young people know there's a continuity to it. But I just wanted to let everybody know, the family know, that the 2 days are dedicated. It's a yin and a yang situation. One is internal, which is esoteric. The other one is exoteric. And Saturday is esoteric, which means it's consolidated. It's a very small format, only about 50 people, maybe 60 people that can actually fit. And in that small gathering, we're going to be talking about every and anything, much like you see with the one up on the frequency or one-to-one on the frequency, the YouTubes. And I was reminded by a good brother that it was not one up on the frequency 2, but actually one up on the frequency 3. So I had to make that little correction at that point.
Okay.
So it's on Saturday. Anybody who is really interested in coming so that we could talk about any issue, and I'm talking about anything. And I broke down the different things. I call it my dark matter think tank. And there's very few people that I invite inside of that kind of conversation. So just to break down what we said, it's going to be a 360-degree fact-finding workshop to discuss solutions to the ongoing crisis of mental, physical, and psychospiritual diseases, interpersonal relationships, parenting, the destruction of the archetypal family unit, education, the feminization of women and men, the narcissistic degeneration of our children's minds, the so-called sovereignty myth, the extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional disclosure project, all of that. And it's going to be a hodgepodge. Everybody could come with whatever issue. And if they want to deal with a slight understanding of their own health issues, that could be discussed. So it's an open forum to exchange and to get together with everybody. And it's in the whole day from 12 o'clock to about 7 to 8 o'clock. And we're going to do that marathon on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're going to be going over to do the National Black Theater. And the working title for that event would be Decrypting the Asymmetric Algorithms of Psycho-Spiritual Warfare. And this is going to be part 1, the electromagnetic induction of synthetic consciousness algorithms for the purpose of manipulating intent. Now, you know me and my lecture title.
Yeah. Hey, oh, man. Can we get a bomb, Dr. Manhattan or KT? Can we please get a bomb right there? That's so bomb-worthy. Like, nobody else can come up with a title. KT, if you're on the boards, please pull up Funkmaster Flex bombs. Like, there's no one on the planet.
Not working for me.
Okay, there's nobody on the planet. You'll never have to worry about somebody copying or biting you because nobody could think of a title that's so, unique like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's classic Valentine. That's super classic Valentine. As a matter of fact, the Saturday event, that's when you were describing what's going on, like, that's classic Valentine. That's Brooklyn Valentine. That's LIU Valentine. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Valentine in the 80s, 11-hour jump-offs. Yeah. So thank you for bringing it back to the essence, brother. I'm telling you, you have no idea. You must have had your ear to the ground because that's what the people have been asking for. That's what they've been waiting for, especially some of the newer initiates into consciousness who weren't privy to being at LIU or being in your Brooklyn location when you used to go in. They said they heard about it and they watched it on YouTube and they couldn't wait to be a part of that one of these days. So now one of these days is upon us, and I'm sure that they're going to take full advantage of that right there.
Beautiful. Yeah, and what I want to do is just to let the family know, we're going to see if we can keep repeating these numbers, to reach out for the Saturday event, and it may go quickly now that everybody is beginning to know about it and we've put it out there. We can only accommodate 55 people at most, so the telephone number to call is area code 347-496-1022. Again, 347-496-1022. That gets you right into Brother King Simon's line. And if you need to, you should also try to text the brother because it's very special. You cannot just walk up. You cannot go to any place to find out where this is going to be located. You have to first buy your ticket to this event before the event address is divulged. And even at that point, he's not going to tell about the event address until a day or two. He's going to tell everyone a day or two. Whoever actually renders their tithes, he's going to tell them that maybe a day or two before the event, so that he keeps it exclusive or secluded, because there's only but so many people that we could actually accommodate. And if this thing is successful, and we could do this before, and we'll open up the venue to a larger one up on the frequency, and maybe in the future, then I could maybe do this perhaps once every 2 or 3 months or once a season. And we'll see, depending on the responses, if the people would like to continue to do something like this.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we need that think tank ASAP.
Yeah,
we need
we're going to put that out there. And we're going to put it out there for the people so that they could begin to start dealing with solutions. We've put a lot of information out there, but a lot of people cannot or have not yet taken the information and converted it. They have not yet taken the crude oil and refined it into the gasoline necessary to drive the engine of progress, the engine of whatever creativity that is necessary to bring our community together. So we have to learn to convert the metaphysical thinking into physical action for physical results. And this is exactly what my teachings of metaphysics was meant to do. It was first meant to let you understand how to solve the problem, but to understand the metaphysics of what your mind must be in, the kind of state that your mind must be in to be something an entity that is a true creator. You know, you could have the ability to create something, but then because your mind isn't focused, it's just a broad spectrum light. Sure, it lights up the room, but it doesn't cut through any barriers. What we want to do is to create lasers that cut through the barriers that they've erected by education and all the rest of it. And so, yes, we will speak metaphysics, and why I'm talking about decrypting the asymmetric algorithms of psychospiritual warfare is because, yes, the warfare has been conducted on the psychospiritual level. You see, that's why Bobby had to take that step to the other side in order to deal with new information that would come from that. That was his way of gathering that information. We all, who are the teachers, the people who are the inspirers, and the ones who are the creative, the brothers who are in the hip-hop, who's bringing forward the kind of ballistic words that are cutting through, knocking down ignorance, taking out ignorance. Everybody has their own type of access. So what we are doing is essentially, and what I've always been talking about how your mind is being interrupted by those who understand how energy works as mind, and what they need to do to counter that with different types of synthetic energy waves, to counter your energy making, live making, creative making mind. And that type of thing, you have to really know when your mind is actually thinking your thoughts or is actually regurgitating their thoughts and you think it's yours. That's the difference. That's what we were trying to bring to the table.
Wow. I cannot wait for that. That is wonderful. That is definitely wonderful. Okay. That's what's up. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show when I spoke about the guest that we had on Tuesday night. We opened up the floor to a brother by the name of Lennon Honor, who spoke very highly of you and the influence and the impact that you had on his career. The brother touched on the fear-based programming that took place globally, I would say galactically, as a result of 9/11. And we remind, when he was building on it, I was like, Dr. Valentine was one of the first people to come along and give us the complete breakdown about, what happened on 9/11, what the ulterior motive was, the quote-unquote proverbial breaking of the egg. Can you briefly, for the family who were in attendance that heard that dissertation on Tuesday, can you just briefly touch on what it is that you brought to the table in your in the lecture that you did about 9/11, which was historic, by the way?
Well, just to bring history kind of full circle, a lot of our young people weren't even born at the time. Just very young people. I'm so happy that I'm seeing younger and younger people calling us or getting in contact with us. We have 16-year-olds who are looking at the videos. Well, back in 2001, I believe it was in November or December of 2001, right after 9/11, I had done a breakdown of what really happened in 9/11, and we were the first ones. It wasn't the 9/11 truthers and all these people. They weren't the ones bringing the information to the table. We had already brought the information about what could have happened in 9/11, and they began to expound on that. And because, we just a little bunch of black folks who just kind of talked amongst one another, we didn't get the ink or the airtime to say our views, but we were talking about charges that were already set. We had pictures. Yeah, we had pictures from the Spanish channel. That's right. That showed everything. We even showed the symbolism of the hanged man. We showed everything. We even showed about the fact that it was drones, and it wasn't really any airplanes that did it. There were drones. It was later found that they were drones.
Yes, I remember so clearly that when you brought the information about the drones, it was almost alien. People they had no concept of what drones were. They didn't know the technology existed. They didn't know that you could fly an unmanned aircraft remotely. And then, look at fast forward, they talk about, the future of warfare is going to be all drones. So
exactly.
you completely, what you did in that lecture, for me personally, okay, and for other people that were in attendance, is you helped put the They Live glasses on. You freed us from being victims of the fear-based programming. You prepared us for everything that they were throwing at us. So everything that they were trying to pull, all of the wool that they were trying to pull over our eyes, I was just like, I was immune. I took my vaccination at the Valentine lecture. I was like, dude, you can't do it to me. Like, I'm good. I know what this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when the truthers popped up, I'm like, y'all swag, y'all jacking. Like, this shit came out of Brooklyn. Like, we did this already. So, but it was needed. It was needed because they were able to reach a demographics and a certain amount of, people that we may not necessarily have access to. So all of that was gravy. But I'm talking about, like you said, November or December. That thing happened in September, and y'all you completely decoded everything. So word, yeah.
That's when. Thank you. That's when decoding became more popular. When a lot of the young people began to become more interested in the matrix and decoding and trying to break down what they're looking at and to see the esoteric and the so-called Illuminati and satanic and all of those things in it. And I kind of created a monster with that. I didn't want everybody to just start breaking things down and not seeing the general workings of what they needed to do to move ahead against all of that. And, to use the countermeasures by putting up more positive things rather than just sitting back and reacting to what they're doing. Act on what you know rather than just react by saying, well, look what they did. Yeah, well, we spectators, we became conscious critics. You know how the critics go to a movie and then they tell you what the movie is about and, they make their assessment of the movie. That's what we became, conscious critics.
Yeah, Siskel and Ebert Bay. Siskel
right.
L. and Ebert Bay. That's what we became, the conscious critics.
Exactly.
And that subcategory that you were talking about is called conscious pornography. That's conscious porn. Okay? Stuff that people got to hide in the basement and watch, called mental masturbation. And, it's almost like it stimulates people. It's like a feel-good kind of thing. Like, ooh, did you see the X-Men? You know what I'm saying? Adamantanium. That is Adam and Antanium.
Yeah.
Ooh, bombs.
Yeah, I did. That was a part of my. I'm again, like I said, when I was doing the Matrix, and I did, I began to talk about Jean Grey and dealing with genetics and the whole 9 yards.
Nah.
Right.
All the family that's on the line, that's on, like you bodied that. You destroyed that. The whole X-Men thing, like you destroyed that. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to what you were saying, that it turned, people took some of that wonderful information and they, because it was steeped inside of entertainment, it was steeped inside of popular culture, they turned it into a sort of sensationalism. And it was like, oh, if that nigga's not decoding a movie or a TV show, I don't want to hear it. It's too deep for me. I don't, he's talking about scalar weapons now and, it's losing me. And it's like, come on, B, this is part of the information. Like, don't go commercial on us. Don't just want to hear about a movie breakdown. Get it all. Like, eat it all. So, yeah. But that X-Men breakdown
that was part of my fault, too, because I was telling a lot of my students to take a pad and pen with them into the movies so that they didn't just get caught up in the movie and become, get to have a, a synthetic download, that they must keep up their filter. They must keep their sensor alive so that the filter that they have is a discerning filter at what they're looking at. Of course, there's education versus edutainment and entertainment versus edutainment. And I just wanted them to be more critical because, remember, when you're there looking at TV or commercials or anything, you go into alpha mode and beta mode, And then that means, your body and your mind is just simply taking in information without any processing. It's then that they understand that the mind being in a bottomless well that can be filled and then be something that can act as a responder or a kind of echo, that whatever it is that your perception is picking up would then be replaying at the subconscious level, and you wouldn't know why your actions or your thoughts are being geared towards certain behaviors. You don't know that. They are downloading information while you are in that alpha state. And then in that alpha state, you are essentially rearranging and reorganizing the information that your DNA needs to braid itself. So your DNA may be braiding signatures, and you don't know it because you have a good idea. Your conscious mind is feeling positive, but your subconscious mind has been fed something like downloaded a so-called virus into that computer, and you don't understand why it is that a certain disease comes up or something comes to trick on you. That's the type of thing that they're doing. This is the kind of subtle warfare. And trust me, I'm going to be talking about technologies that these people have, and I kept telling my family that they're 100 years ahead of us in technology. All this stuff you see with the iPads and this is toys they had like 50 years ago. You have to know that everything we're doing right now is in step with them, giving you just the right amount of technology to maintain control and to maintain surveillance on you, and not just your body but your consciousness.
Your consciousness, yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing right there. You know what I mean? And I already know that when you come in New York, you definitely gonna blow that out of the water. Now, ever since you came on the show the last time, remember we had the show dealing with the Black Pope, right? Jesuit.
Right.
Been a whole lot of stuff going on within the news and, within the media and things of that nature, with Malcolm's grandson being, I would say, being assassinated in Mexico, and a whole bunch of other things going on. Before we get into tonight's, dissertation, can you just briefly touch on some of the news? Remember the black news?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to leave a little bit of that because I think I'll do some black news at the beginning on Sunday. So okay. I'm going to leave a little surprises that I have for the black news on there. But I will tell you that yes, it was an assassination. There's no doubt it was an assassination, and everybody who understands COINTELPRO and what they did to his father and Martin Luther and everybody must know that. I told everyone about this back when somebody told them that he tried to kill his grandmother. You remember I did a lecture on that, and I said that it was necessary for the nationalist community to surround that boy and go and get him if they got to do it. I mean, most of them are ex-military. Why didn't they go and do something to go and protect that young boy? Because of who he was. Yes. His bloodline was a royal bloodline. Where was the community to protect that young kid? Why didn't they protect that young kid?
Protected. Exactly. And
he's supposed to have guards. Mm-hmm.
I said on the show that and I wasn't trying to negate anybody's importance in the community or what it is that they're doing, but I said because of his bloodline, because of who he was one of the most important influence. You know what I mean? He could have sat down and held court with anyone on any level because of where he came from or who he was. So they knew that. My brother actually had an opportunity to build with the brother for a few months. And the same thing that you said on the show about him not being responsible for his grandmother's death, that's the same thing that he shared with my brother. And he also shared a whole bunch of other personal things dealing with him being set up and watched and all kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, anybody from the old school would have known that it wasn't he that did that to his grandmother. That was ridiculous. They tried to put that on the boy because what they needed to do was they needed to build up the reasons for assassination. Yes, they needed to build the reason for assassination, the excuse for assassination, just the way they attack a country by first demonizing its people and its leadership. Well, they need to demonize him. They need to harass him. They need to make sure that he was a pirate in the eyes of the public so that the excuse for his death would not be as a shock or a surprise. It would be, the next logical step to his behavior, to what is assumed is his nature and what his intentions and so forth were. But you have to remember, his brother had just converted. He had just converted to Shia. He was a Shiite. He converted
to Shia. Exactly. And to lead credibility to what you're saying, from the remarks that you saw online from our people, that whatever operation that they were trying to deal with character assassination, it actually worked. Because there were all kind of negative comments about him deserving it and karma and, the ghost of Betty Shabazz and all of these other things. And I'm like, come on, really?
But you have to look at ignorance and you have to look at it as children. Most people, they have their Christian mentality. And anytime you say that somebody is, first of all, Muslim or they're black and have, remember, people have been weaning on the nipple of media as their mother. And that's been their life's blood. That's all they know. They look to them as authority. So when you have people dealing with the media as their authority, the mother of their authority, that's all they know. So they're going to automatically judge based upon the fact that they've been programmed to prejudge based upon what that white man or white woman's face with the blonde hair has told them on CNN. They've been told on CNN or they've been told on any of these other news organizations that, everything is going bad and that we are giving you the right news and that follow our lead and, the American dream will be held intact. So, again, just say the right words, the right trigger words, and you can demonize anyone and then open them up to assassination. Character assassination before physical assassination. That's been the formula. What's up?
Dr. Valentine, the brother Rev line dropped. I was talking to him earlier. Wherever he is, he's been getting bad reception all day. I'm not sure where he is, but I'm still on the line. KT, the art degree, is still on the line. So, and you're still connected. Just waiting for Greg to call back in.
Peace.
Oh,
okay.
There's KT.
Great.
This is KT.
Peace. How are you?
Peace, Dr. Valentine. How are you?
I'm well, brother.
Yeah, I've been in the cut just listening. I didn't have anything to say, so I just kept quiet because I knew it's just a matter of time before you take off, and I was ready for the blast off.
Well, I'm here to answer questions, related to, the topic at hand, especially the one that we're going to be talking about, the asymmetric algorithms of psychospiritual warfare, synthetic scalar wave environments, and so forth. But we were just talking a little bit about young Malcolm, his bloodline, and that I had at the time when I did the lecture, I believe it was a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I had asked the nationalist community, the black community, to surround that young brother, to be there for him, to give him the kind of protection and the kind of oversight that would be necessary to give to a royalty, because like his grandfather, he had raised himself from serious types of trials and tribulations. And he had rectified himself against all those odds. And, just to judge him and to see him through that particular clouded lens and not look at what was being formed. I mean, you could look at a piece of coal and say, oh, it's a piece of coal, and no. Well, you could fire that coal up and get warmth, so you can put pressure on that coal and get a diamond. So it is both the media in the West that is actually focused on and preoccupied with somebody's checkered past, as if that's what we should be interested in, and not what the man or woman is today. And that's the type of thing. And they will let you know which one they would want. They would want you to focus on the present day, or they would want you to focus on the past day. And you notice that every time they speak to anybody that is black who's had some kind of altercation, and if you're black and ain't had no altercation with the cops, it means you've been living underground or in a cocoon. So it's always them leading with, you've had this particular kind of problem, or you were accused of this kind of problem, and then everybody is now listening to what it is they want you to focus on, the worst part of this person's trial and tribulations, rather than what it is this person may have accomplished in his or her life. So I was very disappointed with some of the return rhetoric on Brother Malcolm's death and what potential this young brother may have been able to exhibit, and to, if he had anything of his grandfather's blood, and he was showing you through pictures that he was his grandfather's grandson, and that he was now picking up, as his grandfather did, on that. In these cases, he didn't even know who his father was, which is even deeper. His grandfather became his father in his eyes.
It was interesting because he was actually scheduled to be on the show, I believe, about a year ago, and I'm not sure what had happened, but he never showed. But he was scheduled to actually be a guest. And the last I heard before of his death was he was actually out in I believe Iran. They were having some type of movie. They were having like some movie expo where they were talking about how America uses movies as propaganda, and he was actually there. And he got snatched up and locked up, and that was the last thing I heard. I didn't even know he was out. Since then, next thing I heard was, he was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to share with the family, and I did on a previous show, that the mother of his daughter reported on the social media that he had a partner of his, and his character was in question by a lot of people in the inner circle, in the family, and things of that nature. And it came to find out that this seedy character was the one who introduced him to the Mexican, who was the one who brought him to the bar, or was with him when they said that they were lured to the bar by a female. And that the story is so retarded. Like it stinks, right?
Yeah, and you could tell it stunk, because essentially, being that he just converted to Shia Islam, and the brother was, when you just convert to something, you become very focused in all of its tenets. And even though in some aspects of Islam they allow alcohol when they're alone, or alcohol drinking and the type of behavior that you see there, that would not have been his repartee. He would not have been going there to chase any lap dancing, and that's the same thing they were talking about in 9/11, when the people who were supposedly there that flew the planes was over there lap dancing someplace before, so that they could be out in the public, so that the public would know that they existed, so that when the time came for their faces to come up, they say, "Oh yeah, I saw them there." Everything has been orchestrated. Exactly. You have to look at the orchestration itself.
And that in itself will almost be to discredit those quote-unquote bombers with the Muslim community, to be like, oh, they were in a strip club? Oh, astaghfirullah. Then we're not, and it almost with them it would discredit them and take away, the same thing that they try to do with the brother with Malcolm. I heard people say, "Oh, he was in the titty bar. He was in Mexico with hookers. Oh, well, I guess he got what came to him." Then the first time they was like, Tijuana, that's where the cocaine is at. What was the brother doing? What was he out there for? And I'm like, really? Are y'all that gullible? Like, these people don't even have to try hard with y'all. Y'all don't even have faith. Like, y'all don't even, you know what I'm saying? You judge people before you even notice the man is dead. You don't know the story. You're going to take what they told you. First they said they threw him off the roof. Then they beat him to death. Then all kind of other things happen. So you're just going to believe anything. So, love and light to his liberty, love and light to his spirit, love and light to everybody I can't wait to read the brother's literature. I heard that he was putting together 2 books, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like I said before, that brother he had so much potential. He could hold court with people from around the world. He could have introduced all kind of people from the conscious community to foreign leaders, and he could have brought a lot of the things that we were doing on this level to a global, international stage. He had a royal bloodline, was a threat, and them people was the ones responsible for doing what they did.
Yeah, that's it. You hit it on the head. His ability to interface with people who don't have a voice with those who were listening for people or wanted to hear the voice of the people. Right now, the voice of the people, the conscious community, has to be stifled. You cannot deal with a conscious crew. Remember I told you that the more conscious the people became, the more dictatorial and the more repressive the government will have to become. Because conscious people, or people who are knowledgeable of the ways that the governments are tricking and playing games with the people, these people they may have long patience and take a whole lot of crap. But then when they erupt, it's over. And the thing is that they've been keeping us, it's a wrap. They've been keeping us sedated. And the last thing, COINTELPRO's main agenda is to make sure that no Messiah rises from the ranks.
Thank you.
And no Messiah, no matter where he comes from.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
And this boy was working his way to become that. Trust me. By the time that boy reached 35 or 40, he would have been a world-renowned, known person. And if he ever was to run for Congress, or he was to ever have influence, or to have an organization and become published, and have an organization that was dealing with all of the underbelly of society. The people who are the have-nots, the people who are in need of, the true help that humanity has to give, they are in the majority on this planet. The last thing the super minority want is an awakened majority, you see. And that, they can't have that. An empowered and inspired majority. That's the thing. We're not inspired. Very few of us are inspired. And even in that inspiration, we do not have the kind of resources to even warrant us making that perspiration. So if you got the inspiration, but you don't have the resources to actually put in the perspiration, you don't have those resources. You're sitting on resources, but to convert them, you got to go through the system that was put in place to make sure you were raped of your resources. So you don't have access in order to do that. So I'm jumbling up. I'm saying many things at the same time, and I know that people are following me. There is a rising consciousness. Yeah, they will not tolerate the bullshit anymore from the upper echelon. So the upper echelon knows that they have to kill off the people that threaten their existence. They have to make sure that the people who are in the majority, and you got to remember, too, that they got a lot of people in the majority are just some dumbasses. These people just don't have no clue. They're just there for self-gratification. Sex, booze, rock, whatever it is, that's all they want. And a lot of these people, according to the elite, are sucking up resources that they know they don't deserve because they ain't doing nothing for the planet. Now you got to look at what the elite are saying, and I'm not saying that I'm siding with them, but you got to look at their mentality. And you know you can go on Facebook, and at least 2/3 of Facebook are some dumbasses on there. Okay, the conscious people, we know we can find them. But Lord have mercy, have you seen some of these things that they're putting out there on Facebook? You see some of the things that these men and women are doing, the kind of things that we're getting camera shots of, the kind of real. This is the underbelly that they want to wipe out. They want to clean the planet of what they created.
You're glad you're not on Instagram.
I'm sorry?
I said you should be glad that you're not on Instagram, Dr. Valentine, because your eyes would hurt for the things that they up there doing. It is.
I know.
Yeah, my wife got me on Instagram diet, and I can't log on. Huh?
My son has told me about those.
Oh yeah, your son. Exactly. Your son know about it.
Yeah, he said you don't want to be on there. I said I know. I said I barely want to be on Facebook sometimes because of what I see. It just hurts me. But again, like I said, that there is an underbelly in this society that they created. Remember I said that the more technologically advanced we become, the less empathetic to each other we will become. We will become less empathetic, we'll become more individualistic, and we will not feel the commonality of the group. We will not feel the commonality of the collective. We'll be too busy into ourselves, the me generation. And the me generation is all right, but it's not been tempered. It's been taken over. Children now run the way we have to think and the way we need to think. And when the society puts the reins of society in the hands and decision-making of children who essentially don't even know what they want yet except what they've been given as the distractions to tell them that this was what you really want, to maintain their commercialism and to maintain their consumer-based mentalities, you have to remember that we are now following children and their mentalities. Look at everything. The biggest selling movies is comic books. Think about that. The biggest selling movies that bring out the $5 billion and the $5 million is comic books. Now, of course, they got, serious storylines weaved in it, but it's comic books. Everybody's waiting for Superman. Everybody waited for Batman. Everybody waited for Avengers. Everybody waited for X-Men and Spider-Man. And we're in the comic books. They done took it and made it sophisticated, but we got comic book minds. And that's how we now, instead of taking what the comic books are giving us in that type of soap opera mentality with all the digital effects, that's what we're supposed to have internalized and grown based upon our abilities inside of us. We're not supposed to be living vicariously through those figures. We're supposed to be becoming those figures. And what they did was take away our ability to imagine ourselves as those and to do the kind of imagining necessary to build the kind of DNA from inside out, not from all this crap that we're seeing in outside. And it's a distraction. It's a fun distraction, but then just like sex, you got to go to sleep after a while. And that's what it's doing. It's putting us to sleep. Every time we get exposed to the comics, we get into the comics, we throw our bodies and our minds into the comics, and then, of course, just like sex, you got to take a rest. It's a nap. And that's what we do. We go into this zone.
KT. Brother KT, I'm going to need you to man those bombs. I'm going to need you to man those bombs. Please climb into the aircraft. Oh, man.
If I knew how to drop the bombs, I'd drop them. But the good thing is the people are going to be able to hear everything. They ain't going to miss a word. So they know exactly where them bombs supposed to be at. Oh, and Dr. Valentine, as you speak about Superman and you talk about the DNA, the funny thing is the first single from the soundtrack of that movie by Hans Zimmer, who's doing the soundtrack, the name of the lead single is called DNA.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for that. That I didn't know.
Yeah, they're not holding back at all. And I wanna also say thank you, because the whole Hollywood Decoded series that I do is all based upon that lecture you did when you broke X-Men down that day. Red Pill and Blue Pill played it for me over 10 years ago, right before the towers fell. Actually, it was in August, right before they fell, and they put it in. And it blew my mind. And, fast forward to today, when I started breaking them down, it goes all the way back to that. And that's exactly why I do it, is to give people, just to show them that there's more. Stop just going there, allowing them to manipulate your mind, so you go out there and go through the motions, fulfilling their structure and their beast. You need to understand that it's a tool. It's a tool that you can utilize so you can embody that, because they're just raping your DNA every time you go up in there, but you can use it if you understand what you're looking at.
Right, exactly. You can.
I just want to say thank you.
You're quite welcome, brother. I'm glad that you're actually converting. That's the conversion process that I was talking about. Converting the information so that it becomes dynamic, it becomes active, proactive, rather than reactive.
That's it. That's the point. That's the whole point of the Decoded.
Yes, most definitely. Okay.
Yes. So, now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk briefly about just some of the content that's in the topic you will be addressing on Sunday in New York, Dr. Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you have your dissertation prepared, and that's what you're going to, lay out for the family. But if you could just briefly scratch the surface and just touch on a few of your points that you're going to be sharing with the family, I would definitely appreciate that.
Okay. Well, the name is, I have always told everyone that anyone who wants to know what my lectures are going to be about, that they just listen to the words in the name, and it will give them kind of a working clue as to what the content will be about. So just to reiterate, the topic will be called Decrypting the Asymmetric Algorithms of Psycho-Spiritual Warfare. So the key words in there are what I put so that the people will go to their dictionaries and begin to break down those words and then see them in context. So when I talk about mind control, of course, most of what you see about my lectures either have psychospiritual mind control, mental somatic, and so forth. These words that I put in there as adjectives to describe what's going on is to let you know of the different ways, the different vectors, the different modalities, and the different ways that you can actually access the plan and the schematics of mind control, of the overall methodologies of control. So in speaking about that, you know that I usually break down the definition, the formal definition of things like decrypt, which means to decode. When you speak about asymmetric, you're talking about an absence of harmony or proportion, balance, or like self-similarity, or pattern self-similarity type of thing. When you're dealing with something asymmetric, you're dealing with something off-key or off-kilter, or something that you would not expect because it came via an area of energy or an area or pathway that you would not have expected. So in dealing with asymmetry, or just the word itself, symmetry, it means there's two different types of symmetry. There's aesthetic symmetry, and then there's mathematical symmetry. The aesthetic symmetry means that you go outside and you see beauty, you see flowers, the different colors, and how they are proportioned and come together to give you that sense and that feeling. But then there's mathematical symmetry, which means the calculations of the patterns of time, dealing with spatial relationships and how time and space works, how the methodologies of mind work with the four elements of fire, air, water, and earth inside of the vibrating and pulsating dynamics of space-time. Now you're talking about mathematical symmetry, and everyone who has ever seen my lectures know that I always speak about the fact that God geometrizes, and that all creation is based upon a mathematical symmetry and asymmetry. So there's always an asymmetric aspect to symmetry, because once symmetry is achieved, as I always spoken, perfection equals death. So when perfection is achieved, there's no place else for it to go, but there is always the asymmetric seed that takes you outside of that allows for the boundaries to be broken so that another form of that perfection may take place. So perfection is a process. It's not an end result. So what we're looking at is the way that they have perfected mind control. And the perfection of mind control has symmetric and asymmetric factors that we have to look at. And that means we have to now look at the way the mind works in both symmetric and asymmetric algorithms. And again, when I break down words, I speak of them so that you can incorporate them into the meaning, the deeper meaning, and find the deeper meaning in the lesson plan, in the whole overall context. So of the subject matter that is being spoken. So you're talking about a word like algorithm, for instance. Let me see now. Let me try to remember. Algorithm is a word, just to start it off, it actually came from the word that was actually invented based upon a Moor. The Moor, his name was Abdullah Muhammad ibn Musa I used to have it so beautifully written off my tongue, but I have to go back and refer to it. But his Khwarizmi, and it was his name. He was a master mathematician back around 7 AD. He was born around 7 AD to 885, around that time BC. And he was a part of a secret house called the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. And he was the curator of the library, but it was his name, after his name, that Al-Khwarizmi, that his last name and the mathematical progressions that he had created, that's where the algorithm came from. The word algorithm came from, based upon how he began to put together the format and symmetry of life and different behaviorisms of humans and animals, everything, and how they interrelated. So the word algorithm came from that Moor. And so when you study about algorithms, you're studying a Moorish science. And bringing that into effect, you begin to understand that algorithm itself becomes a discipline, a kind of discipline of mathematics that kind of reflects the importance of all the contributions that he made to the science of algebra, and algebra being another form of mathematical computation for how the mind works and how you can put together algebraic equations that are actually mind control equations where x will equal a, or x will equal this, or y will equal that. So when you are using mind control, you're using different symbology to equal something, so that's an algebraic equation. So if I show you a picture, or I've given you, like this, like you were speaking about, how we broke down how they actually demonized young brother and then that was able to move, so you understand y equals this. So they have formulated everything that you see, the dynamics of all of what this so-called lockdown, this so-called Illuminati lockdown, the way we are, the way the society is, everything is based upon certain algorithmic equations, algebraic, geometric equations, and we're in this web. We are caught up in this tapestry of algorithms and logarithms and all these different types of mathematical equations, because since your brain works the way that the Creator works, your brain, being that the Creator being an algebraic or geometrizing entity, your brain is a geometrizing, algorithmic, algebraic entity, and if they can actually figure out the equations of thought and how it operates, they can lock you down in algebraic forms of mind control, algorithmic forms of mind control. And that's what they've been doing. Well, I guess I put him to sleep.
Oh.
That was for the that Blake.
Whoa, yeah, that was a moment of silence. That was the moment of silence because somebody just got murdered.
For the ignorant cells in your brain.
Whoa,
boy, Wowzers. That was a moment of silence to come back to Earth. We was like on Pluto somewhere with that. People upstairs.
That was that pause right there.
Yeah, I was only playing with you guys.
I also noticed that you mentioned scalar in the title as well, and I had recently started studying about Pyotr Guzjajev, which is these Russian scientists that are studying the 97% of the junk DNA. And they were talking about solitonic waves, which I did my best to try to explain last Friday on the show. When I did the show, are you familiar with solitonic waves? And if so, does it correlate with the scalar?
I've heard about them because they are actually noise. They're a type of noise that they've picked up. And what they call the solitonic waves is subtextual thought processes from the cosmic mind. Okay, let me repeat that again. All waves related to interfacing with the DNA and you at subatomic and molecular level are based upon the subtext of the cosmic consciousness. In other words, your mind deals with a subconscious and a subconscious subtext, and you have what is known as a sympathetic and asympathetic systems. Well, one is conscious and the other one is on the unconscious. You could go to sleep and everything will still keep beating and breathing. Well, that's the same thing. That is what they're looking for and what they're finding are the subtexts and the sub-processors, or the subconsciousness mind processes that essentially of the cosmic mind that is operating through these noises that are actually frequencies that have to do with the planning and the matrix. Well, let me just something. The information around this is so diverse that I have to try to bring it together slowly so you can see it based upon me giving you examples. Just the way a spider's web will keep the spider attached between two distinct variable places, and the place between that would have been threaded by that spider's web in order for it to actually move from one space to the next. Well, that's exactly what that is.
Got you. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
And remember, everything is vibration. Everything is vibration. And remember also that time is an element, just like earth is an element, just like water is an element, time is an element. Because without time, none of the other elements would be able to coalesce. So time is a tangible principle that has a membrane, that without the membrane of time, things that are to be manifested through the cosmic mind would never have its substance. Time is substance. So whenever there is substance, time exists. So time is part of what coalesces inside of the envelope of your body. So your body is an instrument of time because time is encoded within the structure. It is the
That's why they call it
component.
space-time.
Exactly. Time is the coalescing component that creates the shell so that there is a portion where, again, things are vibrating at such a speed. You can't vibrate at the speed of God and then know yourself. To vibrate at the speed of God, then you become God, or you are essentially absorbed into the mind of God, and then you are part of the one. Then there is no distinction. But again, Krishna said that even after you have attained enlightenment, you will still remain individually conscious of self. But there is a place before you have attained that type of consciousness, there is a place where you are. There's a place where you cannot go without having kept, or without disappearing, or without completely not knowing yourself. So space and time exists so that the individualized portion of self can interface with itself so that God could know itself. Otherwise, God would not know itself, being all-knowing. Being all-knowing means you cannot know yourself. You are just in the state of now. To know oneself, you must create time so that there's a past and a present, which then creates the reference for the now. The past, the present, the future, or the concept of time gives you your sense of the now. And that's what happens. We get lost in the illusion of time, thinking that the tomorrow and the past are real, when there is no tomorrow and past, only the perception of it, so that the now may know itself. If there is no knowledge, if there's no reference to oneself, then there's no knowledge of oneself. That's why in the creation, the ancient Kemites spoke about the fact that creation is not something that took place outside of God. It is something that God did at a point where it began to contract upon itself, because it could be no outside of itself, only inside of itself. So we are inside the mind of God right now, who is in a state of sleep. And in its dream do we now have our reality.
Negation.
Yeah. Negation is creation. You cannot exist outside of the creator. There's no such thing as creation. There's only, as I teach my students there is only precipitation and condensation. There is nothing that is created outside of the creator. You are condensed into this form. The human body is a system of condensation, and death is precipitation and what's the other one? Condensation, precipitation, and the other one. That's what life is.
Evaporation,
precipitation, whatever it is. That's what life
condensation.
is.
The water cycle.
Right. The water cycle. That's why you're born in water. What do you think the human body fetus is growing inside? It's condensing into the form that's already there.
It's
and
water.
That's also
water.
Yeah. That's also one of the stories about Asar being drowned in his death. The other one is him being killed by his brother and locked up inside of the tree. But the other story about Asar is that he was drowned. Well, the story about Asar drowning is him coming back into the flesh.
Through the waters.
In the waters of the womb. Because isn't that all your ancestors have always told you, that the death of the spirit is the life of the body. And the death of the body is the life of the spirit.
Yeah, that's it's funny you're saying all this right now, because you're making me overstand something that I've been studying recently, human photosynthesis by Arturo Solis Herrera. He's a Mexican doctor in Agua Caliente, Mexico, and he's been studying melanin for the past 25 years. He started with studying blindness, and he ended up finding out Melanin's properties are distinct because it's able to disassociate water and reassociate water. So his conclusions was that the body is able to, it's a free energy device that where melanin utilizes water for energy by splitting the water molecule and putting it back together constantly, and it creates energy. And as you're talking about this, you have the melanin, the darkness, and then you have the water that represents life, and they're constantly doing this dance that ends up creating this power and generating this energy.
Now, you know, we've been speaking about melanin being an intelligence since the 80s. It's not a molecule. Melanin is and we've done, I think I did a reiterated the lecture at When You Dance with the Devil in New York, when I spoke about melanin being a superconductor.
Right.
And as a superconductor, it's an intelligence. And, you know, they're not picking up on anything that's new. You know, we all know what melanin is. You know, they're just catching up. Again, I told everyone that physics and the so-called science of tomorrow are actually catching up with metaphysics. That's all.
That's it. I agree. I just posted an article of them finally admitting that they're using aborted black fetuses to create the new solar cells, that they're getting rid of the silicon and using the melanin from aborted black fetuses to use as the solar panels.
And that's why a lot of our children are disappearing, too. A lot of people don't know that black disappearances are almost 3 to 1, the white disappearances in our country. And this is some of the things our brother Simon had sent me an article to remind me of that a lot of our children are disappearing. Same thing that happened in Atlanta is happening at a national scale now.
Wow.
Yes, it is. There's been a spike.
Yeah.
There's been in nationwide kidnappings. There's been a dramatic spike. And they're even attributing a lot of child trafficking. You know, the Europeans coming over here coming over into the Americas, and there's a huge underground market of, just purchasing child slavery.
And all this is going to come to an end soon. I mean, the wickedness is just thick. You can walk on it now. It's like, it's so thick you can walk on it. You know, it's that. Yeah. But hopefully, like you were saying, we're dealing with cybergenetic manipulation. We'll talk about how, the creator mind, and how we engender the creator mind in order to offset the synthetic mindsets that they try to put into us. All things based on light and sound. This is why we are being affected like this. They've been able to permeate or to invade that auric space that allows for our perception, like what we call in our school our perceptual envelope, to be able to to be able to know the difference, be able to understand and reference energies on the subatomic as well as on the subtle and sublime levels of our thinking process. We have to stop just. That's the thing I wanted to speak about: meditation. Getting into understanding what true meditation is versus the kind that keeps you inside of a constant speaking and mantraing. You don't mantra yourself into a meditation. That's just you exhausting your mind, and then you could fall asleep on it. True meditation comes after you've mastered the noise in your head, but not try to suppress the noise, but allow the noise to evaporate. Remember, everything is based on precipitation, condensation, and so forth, and evaporation. Well, thoughts are the same way. They are fed based upon the waters of energy that we put into them, and we give them substance based upon our attention. Once we withdraw the attention, then it begins to dissipate like the sun dissipates the dew. We have to do the same thing with those kinds of embedded thought programs and engrams that they've put into us. We are feeding them, and they're teaching us to feed them through the food we eat. Remember, I talked about the fact that eating is a form of communication. So everything about us is an interfacing, communicating nodule. We are sensitized on so many different levels that we are unaware of, that those people who now control us are definitely aware of those very sublime levels that we are not aware of, and that's where they're attacking us consistently.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And is there techniques that you may recommend for those of us who, wish to advance our meditation?
Well, the first thing is to stop eating certain foods that inebriate you, foods that turn into sugar, foods that contain a lot of sugar, non-organic foods, processed or boxed or bagged foods. Purification. I have to go through the same thing as everyone. I got my swings from one end to the next. There's a balance, to come back into balance. Meditation is something that you achieve by slowly but surely deleting, not adding to the noise in your head. The thing that we do, the mistake we make in meditation, is that we think in order to suppress the noise in our head, we have to add more noise. But all we're doing is adding to more of the noise in your head that's keeping you from true meditation. When you are dealing with me-ditation versus I-dictation, listen to what I just said. I-dictation is what we're doing to ourselves when we start adding mantras and knowing and yelling and doing things like that. Unless you become familiar with the noise in your head that comes up when all silence and stillness is there, then you will not know what true meditation is. I say to people, to find true meditation, get yourself into a soundproof. Try to go into a soundproof room, especially you brothers and sisters who are into recording. Have you ever heard the kind of stillness and complete vacuum-like sound that's in there that is nothing but your head? And all of a sudden, that particular vacuum feels like there's pressure on your head. Well, that's the part when the noise gets shut out. The real noise and the pressure that you're feeling is not from the outside. It's from the inside of your head. Because when the noise on the outside is no longer equal to the noise in your head, then the noise in your head is what's going to be pushing against your skull. And you're going to feel it as pressure.
Dr. Valentine, I had an experience one night inside the booth where I promise you, I totally went somewhere else. You know how the sound booth has those spikes on the wall, the foam spikes? Mm-hmm. They turned into it appeared as if they became stars, a star system. And just what you said, I totally blacked out and went somewhere. This was years ago, and I never understood why or, the significance behind it until you said, to go in there and truly black out and meditate.
Mm-hmm. Meditation is you examining the monologue / dialogue that you're having with yourself in your head. And you'll find out that that's not you. Why do you now know it's not you? How could you come to the realization that you, listening to the noise in your head, that the noise is not you, is because you are the one that's observing the noise. If the noise is something that you are observing, it means that you are not that noise. That there is something else observing that noise and calculating what that noise means and judging what it means and putting more emphasis and giving more life to that thing that you are observing. So you are the observer, and one must come into a place where you match and come into harmony with the observer And instead of assigning a judgment to what you are observing of all the noise in your head, that's what keeps the noise there. It's your judgment. So you have a memory as you're sitting down trying to quiet your brain. Somebody who annoyed you comes up in your head, or some other situation that was very unpleasant for you comes up in your head, and all of a sudden now you're feeling that you start to say, well, oh, I remember that was painful, or you start assigning a judgment of what that would be, and even the emotional signature of the experience begins to replay. Your feelings of heat begin to come up, everything, because the observer is looking at the memory bank and assigning a meaning to it, and the body is reacting to the meaning that has been assigned to that experience. The experience no longer exists. It exists as a chemical signature and an emotional signature that triggers the chemistry that gives you the feeling and the memory. So when you are observing something that is not you, you are actually assigning the meaning of that particular replay and then getting a replay of the feelings that you had when you first experienced it. But it's not you. So when you're going into true meditation, it's to allow all that noise to express itself, but to remain centered and know that what you are now replaying in your head, all the noise, all the hatred, all the anger, all the piss me off, all of this, all the red dew and all of that, that ain't real. That ain't you. And the other people who are teaching you how to meditate are telling you, well, put in this word, Om, put in this word, Madhapada Buddha, put in that word, Hala Hula Bula, and then you start doing all kinds of words in your head, and all you're doing is just like the doctors do, is drugging the symptom and trying to suppress the symptom. But the cause of it is you feeding it and giving it strength, just like a diamond is made from the coal by giving it pressure. So you do not add anything else to the meditative act of observing all the noise in your head. You simply observe it, do not assign any kind of emotional signature to it, and eventually the more you go into your meditation and it comes up, you'll find it comes up less and less and less because it dies out for lack of the kind of attention and nurturing that you would give to that particular signature, that particular memory. The less you give to it, the more it dies. And then, somewhere down the line, when you get into that meditation and you have followed that strict rule of not assigning anything to those memories, bam, one day you get into memory, you get into your meditative state, and you fall into a zone where there's no more thoughts. There's nothing there but you and the Creator. And you find out that, hey, I'm one with it. That the only thing separating me from the Creator was this illusion that somehow this jackass that I had an argument with was more important than that particular bridging of myself and the Creator to find out that we are one.
Yes, and I can attest to that because I know in my meditations, I don't know about everybody else, but that's the first thing that happens is noise. You know, you might not label it or categorize it as noise, but that's exactly what it is. It's it's words, it's thoughts, it's things that you want to get done or things that you want to overcome or things that you want to manifest, and then you want to, do incantations and, you want everything to be perfect and be right and, put the tone out properly, and it's just, you end up creating more chaos in that state of stillness you're trying to create than, an average conversation.
You're stressing yourself. You create more stress.
Right. Yeah.
You're trying to achieve something. You're trying to engender an illusion as something that is real. And the more you try to make something that really doesn't exist, the more stress you put on yourself.
Mm. That's powerful. I know that's the first I've heard that. I've heard clear your mind. Don't think of anything, focus on the breath. I've heard of those things before, but never in the light of, the noise, let it precipitate, let it condensate, let it evaporate, let it go through that cycle and go away so you can establish that connection. Clear
you can't get them. Yeah, unless you can't clear your mind, because anything you put there to clear it will then end up being the impediment again. In other words, anything you put in your mind to put in there will still be that thing there that you will have to refer to, which is still a barrier between you and that destination of pure meditation. You can't meditate by putting anything in between you and whatever it is that achievement is supposed to achieve. What you are supposed to achieve comes based upon you removing obstacles to it. You don't put obstacles in there in order to remove an obstacle. It doesn't make any sense. Meditation is supposed to be something that removes you from the illusion of what you have been participating in and to get into the reality of who you are. And that's the truth. To find the truth, you must first find reality, and that's the reality of it. Our minds are clouded by the distractions that are placed there so that we do not achieve the kind of spiritual enlightenment and ascension and transcendence that comes from removing all the static noise that has been placed there by the society or by the upper members of the society who want to keep you from that particular experience. And to do that, you have to know the science of thought, which is what we teach at our university, the science of thought.
So that would be synonymous to this conversation we're having right now. If there was some static that started up and the listeners are trying to hear the point you're trying to make, but the static just starts getting louder and louder and louder, they can never follow whatever message you're trying to convey because there's too much noise.
Yeah. And, I can't really, at this point, because we're just kind of free-flowing, I'm not one of those kind of, like the rappers that can, I forgot what to call the brothers, freestyling like that.
Freestyling.
Yeah. You know me, I always come prepared with a lesson plan because I like to, because of the intricacies of the subject matter that I talk about, I like to be prepared because I know I have so much information about just a few things, and especially when they deal with consciousness, that I like to have it cropped and ready to be presented so that there's no mistaking or no confusion involved. So just kind of pitching out there, you have to excuse me because there's a couple of times I kind of folded over on myself because the intricacy of the subject matter, especially when you're not part of my school, we take them along very slowly from one place to another. I'm kind of dropping you into the upper grades of what we teach, and I haven't actually prepared our brothers and sisters for that step-by-step understanding, because again, metaphysics, or the study of what we're talking about, is a language or a relanguaging of the realities that people have been living as the matter-of-fact realities. The matter-of-fact realities has been the reality, but that type of matter-of-fact reality is the lockdown. So to understand and to break through that peripheral, that membrane that they've created around us and around our reality, there is a relanguaging. You have to change the language. You have to teach how the causal plane, which is invisible, you have to put words to the invisible. You have to thresh out the invisible. You have to because the knowledge where you're going, the knowledge is stealth. The knowledge is in stealth mode. The true knowledge is stealth mode. And you have to understand how your brain must become a radar that picks up stealth. Because the causal plane is the stealth plane. And when you learn cause, you have to relanguage the reality because they're giving you a description in accordance with what they want you to believe is the reality. So the words they give you to describe your reality is to keep you in lockdown. When you come to learn metaphysics here at the university, it's a relanguaging and a changing of the lockdown semantics, semiotics, and syntactics to change that around so that now you're defining cause, which is something they would never want you to learn. Defining cause versus describing effects.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah, powerful. Real quick, Dr. Valentine, would you like to go ahead and for the family that is out there that may not be familiar with your school, with your teachings, with your curriculum, would you like to go ahead and make that point, let everybody know what you offer?
Preach and love it, brother. Yeah, coming in July the 20th, is the next semester for our metaphysical psychology. And if you want information about joining, you can either go up online to our university's website at uksnow.org. That's U as in United, K as in King or Kemet, S as in Science, NOW.org. And then when you open up the website, when it opens, you can look up to the top. There's a banner that has certain words there. The word courses, if you click that link, it will give you a breakdown of the courses we are offering. And while you're there on the home page as well, look to the right-hand bottom corner. There's a white box there. Please add your email so that you'll be able to get updates from our newsletter. And if you want to read some of the words of former students, you can look on to the left of the home page where it says what our students say. And if you want further information to follow up on enrolling, then please call 800-847-1291. Again, 800-847-1291. And just leave your contact information there so that, we will be able to get right back to you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Would you mind going to the phone lines at this point in time? Because I know that we have hands.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, awesome. KT, will you be able to do that?
Yeah, I just gotta get the ABCs in it real quick, but of course.
Okay,
of course.
Awesome.
Just let me know. Hold on 1 second. Monumental. All right. Okay. Well, just let me know what I need to do.
All right. You'll see the caller, the numbers, and you'll be able to know the hands that are up by the icon that appears. I believe it's a blue icon, and you'll see it next to your number, so you know that's what it is. And
it's a blue icon with an X on it.
I believe so. Yeah, that indicates that there are people that press 1, and all you have to do is highlight the microphone. When you open up their line, just click it, and that'll open up their line, and we'll bring them in. So if you want to do a test run, we could do it on the first number that you see, the most current number that you see.
All right. Let's try it out. Okay, caller from the 971400.
Peace.
Peace, brother. How you doing?
Peace, brother. KT, what's going on, brother? Red Pill?
Well.
Peace and honor to the most beloved Dr. Phil.
Peace, brother.
All right. Dr. Phil, basically, I was just wanting to ask you about the whole thing with the Jesuits. You kind of went in on it anyways, but basically what you were saying about, the cognitive things and everything, I'm definitely feeling all of that. That's, hitting me right now. I can't even find the words to talk about what you were saying because Because, like, every time you speak, you basically leave the room in a mode of silence. So that's how you're dropping it right now. You know, the silent bombs you're dropping. And they always say the silent ones are the most deadly ones. So, you know what I'm saying? It's most beneficial. Not deadly, I say. So, most definitely, I'm feeling everything. But I just wanted to know about the Jesuit thing.
Okay. I did a lecture about the mid-'90s called The Aristocracy of Evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I broke down pretty much a lot about the Jesuits based upon some of the works of Eric John Phillips. And he kind of brought to light about the Jesuits. I was taught by the Jesuits when I was young, and when I was in Trinidad and those areas. But
so was I.
Yeah. The Jesuits themselves are essentially just a military arm of the Vatican. They're the army. They're the military arm of the Vatican, and they pretty much run most of the Western military complex. Are made up of generals and people who are part of the Jesuit enclave. And of course, the Jesuits are beholding to the Black Pope. The Black Pope, the White Pope is beholding to the Black Pope. The Black Pope, of course, is beholding to the Gray Pope.
And they call him the General, right?
Yeah, they call him the Jesuit General, who is the Black Pope. But again, they are actually part of the bloodline of Alexander's general, who they consider themselves to be the bloodline of Alexander's general Ptolemy. So you will see them as the Egyptian Ptolemaic bloodline. And there are certain members of that particular family that I spoke about that are even more powerful than Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth answers to the Aldoblandinis. Those are the ones who create the popes. They're the ones who say that they are the bloodline directly from Ptolemy Sota. And that's why most of the Catholic religion essentially mimics ancient Kemetic rituals. They believe that they are the ancient Egyptians, and that's why a lot of the Egyptian materials are given bad press by the Christians, those so-called Protestant Christians. It's because of what this Ptolemaic bloodline, who now make up the papal bloodline, took from ancient Kemet and folded it over into this monstrosity called the Catholic religion.
Okay, because I was doing my research, because the craziest thing is I was talking to Red Pill today, and I was wondering where I got this energy from to start really researching about the Jesuits, and everything I'm researching now about the Jesuits, I'm finding them everywhere I look, you know, like companies and different stuff like that. They're everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see them. You know, they're either on the back door, or, you know, they might be right there in the front, right there, hiding underneath your nose, and that's what they do majority of the time. They're right underneath your nose, and you won't even know that's them. But the thing I've been noticing...
Yeah, if you're in the education system, my brother, every book that you have in your education system from kindergarten to college has to first pass through the Jesuit censoring board.
Especially in the islands, right, sir? Especially in the islands, being like in the Caribbean.
Well, around the world, you know, it doesn't matter. They don't care. Okay. It's the world themselves. They go to Africa, of course, but around the world.
Okay, because I don't want to hold you up too much, Dr. Phil, but I was just noticing that, because I know like you said, they go back to the Ptolemaic bloodline and everything, but I've been also noticing that they're not Christians. You know what I'm saying? They're promoting this Christian thing, and they're not Christians. And then another thing is that they got the first Jesuit Pope. You know, we got a black pope, and then we got a black pope that's actually the white pope now, and he's coming from Argentina. And I'm noticing that, you know, Argentina and the whole South America, that's the largest denomination of Catholics right now. So I'm noticing that they're making these little key moves, to make sure that they're the majority wherever they're at now. You know what I'm saying? And it's always been saying that, these things were biblical things that they've been putting into line, you know what I'm saying? Like how you're saying it goes back to the bloodline and everything. So I just been wondering if you've been noticing that too, because you've been speaking of it, but I've just been wondering what else is going on with that.
Well, you hit it. You can't get too focused on one thing. The Jesuits are just part of the menagerie, but you can find them everywhere, as you said, because they are everywhere. They were the ones who helped to establish the civilization as it is. They're the ones who helped to formulate the war in the Americas, the Civil War, Revolutionary War, all the 30 years war before that in Europe. They were the ones behind it all. So you can't take them out of it. You're going to expect to find them in everything. So it's not to actually say they're there and to actually look constantly to see that they're there, because they're going to be there. There's no doubt about it.
They're like the elephant in the room. Indeed.
Elephant in the room. Yeah.
Indeed. I appreciate it so much, Brother Phil. You know what I'm saying? Peace and honors and blessings. Already know. KT, I'll link with you later, all right? Peace and love to the Know the Ledge family.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, brethren.
Yes.
All right.
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Before we go to the next caller, I want to remind the family in the Texas area that that there is an event that is coming up on June 8th that the brother Blue Pill is going to be promoting. He's going to be involved in. There's going to be a lecture and an art show on June 8th. That is next weekend. So for the family in the Houston area especially, and the Dallas area, the KTL family, we are just putting it out there to spread the word. And please do me a solid and contact Blue Pill 347-273-4553. That's 347-273-4553, especially if you are an artist and if you are a vendor and if you have any inquiries about the lecture that will be coming up out there, holler at the brother. We will talk about it on Tuesday and next Friday's show. Thank you.
Blue.
All right, we go. Blue. And if anybody has ever seen his art, then you know that you're in for a very you're in for a treat, because he gets it in. He's a master artist.
That's it. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next caller. Caller from 909-292.
Mahotep.
Peace, Hotep.
Much love and respect to the elder scholar, Dr. Valentine. I wanted to basically ask a question into the information surrounding Malik Shabazz, because the doctor has a good knowledge and is very insightful on pointing out details of things. Dr. Valentine, do you find it ironic that not only was Malik Shabazz murdered around the same time that the federal government of the United States posted $1 million bounty on Sister Assad Shakur, but in surrounding the turmoil around Malik Shabazz with the speech given by Farrakhan about the nation handling their traitors, Malcolm X's daughter then going to prison for attempted murder on Farrakhan, Malik Shabazz then going to stay with Betty Shabazz, the fire breaking out, her dying, him going to jail. These seem to be too coincidental. Do you feel that this was really an attempt to tarnish his reputation from being a charismatic leader that the white European American society fears?
I believe there's something much deeper involved in that. I can't discuss it now because I don't know what I'm looking at. I will, most likely, it'll reveal itself somewhere down the line. But I do know that everything that is happening is idiosyncratic with a planned protocol for the destruction of a bloodline.
Okay.
When you want to destroy a bloodline, you must destroy them by taking away their dignity, outright creating happenstance, what they call, there's a word for it, controlled happenstance. In other words, the fire breaking out, someone attempting to kill Farrakhan or putting out contracts with Farrakhan and then going to jail. These are all idiosyncratic of a plan that just people, what I call synthetic synchronicity. It's been synthetically orchestrated to look like it's normally happening one after the other, that this next logical step in a certain behavior or a certain circumstance had to happen based upon all of how they orchestrated the artificial or synthetic circumstance to look like it had a natural pattern towards this eventual end. And this is how they do it. They sit and they plan these things. So, yes, everything you said was very well said. You articulated it perfectly. You watch the synchronicities and you see them happening. And essentially it's like in the mafia. You know, they have old vendetta. And the vendetta is against that bloodline.
So we're dealing with people who are master creators of social construction.
Yeah, they are the social engineers. You have to remember that these people are at least 75 to 100, maybe 1,000 years ahead of the people, and the education system for the 95%, they are not taught how to think. You are taught what to think. They saturate your environment with distractions that keep you in the what rather than in the how. So you are constantly in the what. You are, okay, what's today? Oh, what's tomorrow? Or what did you see? Or what did you hear? Well, what did that movie do? What did they say in the movie? It's what? Mm-hmm. And so you're caught there in what to think instead of how to think. When you start thinking about how to think and you're bringing up the intelligence index of the population, then they start saying, well, how is that done? Or, well, how did I get fooled by this? Or, how did they get me to do this? So you see what I'm saying? So when they teach you what to think versus how to think, you are only caught up in the wash of the what. And that's where they have us. So Malcolm came and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came and said, well, this is how it made you believe that you are this, and this is how they do what they do. When that happened, that just said, no, they can't have this happen. And now we got one of his bloodline getting ready, going around the world and meeting with heads of state and meeting with the young disenfranchised people. That's organizing an army.
Mm-hmm. One more question, Brother Phil. Do you feel, when we're looking and examining the Malcolm X situation, this, I don't know, if you agree with what I'm going to say or not, but the one mistake that Malcolm did make was airing out black, issues on that television screen. Would you agree?
Well, I would look at it this way. At that time, Malcolm, being very enthusiastic, wanted to get as much information out to people as possible, and he only had maybe the people in front of him based upon his ability to get information out. He wanted to not only reach the Muslims that he was speaking to in the mosque or at any of the places he set up. Well, he's the one who set up the most mosques anywhere around the country and around the world, for Nation of Islam. He's the one who set the stage for how the different temples would operate. It was him. And what happened is that he didn't want to just deal with Islam on that end. He wanted to bring people to Islam, what had freed him up at the time, and the version of Islam that the NOI were giving. So he wanted to reach a broader population because they were trapped in their Christianism, and they were trapped in the ignorance that Christianity had given to them about themselves. So he wanted to give them a new dynamic. I remember every time I speak about the fact that what they did was brilliant, that those who orchestrated the schism, the ism schism, like Bob Marley was speaking about, was to give turn the other cheek Negroes or house Negroes Christianity, and the field Negroes ain't taking no shit Islam. So there was still another form of polarization between the house nigger and the field nigger, and it's that type of schism that these two hemispheric concepts of religion that ain't had nothing to do with us, which were pretty much mutations of our African spirituality. They polarized us along those, and if you go any place around the world, you would never see no cold black, African-looking cold black head up inside of of Islam. You would never. The higher up you go in Islam and the Imam, you ain't ever see no dark black influencing the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. They all are white or Mediterranean. So there's nothing to do with us. Christianity also. We did have our first black popes, but that was not the Christianity that they gave us. This particular time after the captivity. So again, nothing of what we are doing, because nothing what we're doing and what we're participating in, none of that has anything to do with the how or even the who. It's only the what. What are you doing? What are you? Are you Christian or whatever? What are you? I'm Islam. I'm Muslim. Or what are you? I'm a Christian. What are you? See what I'm saying? What are you? Yeah. And they never know who you are. Well, who are you? Once you start, who are you? No, you're not a Christian. Because when I start speaking about who, and you say you're Christian, then I know that you're a jackass. So I'm saying to you, essentially, you don't know who you are, or why you are, or how you are. You just know what you are.
So in essence, when you lack a certain history about yourself, mythology will be used to replace that lack of information.
Well, mythology can also teach you about the true self. In fact, myth is the story of the spirit in the flesh. It is the story told by the spirit.
Okay.
You see, the spirit has no boundaries. So the spirit can talk about flying and doing superhero and superhuman things. So when the superhuman spirit is writing about the potential of the human, it writes in those ways through the human. So myth essentially is the transpersonal place where the spirit talks about its experience in the flesh.
Thank you, Dr. Valentine. I really hope you consider having lectures, as one of our elders stated. It's easier to raise a nation of strong children than it is to repair a broken man, Frederick Douglass. So remember that, these babies really out here still need your information, brother. So may the ancestors bless you.
I'll do my best. Good thanks, brother. We're sorry at the university, hopefully.
Mahotep.
Mahotep.
KT.
Hello?
KT. Hello? Yeah.
Hello.
KT. Hello, brother KT. Dr. Manhattan, you with us?
I'm still here. KT line is open, so maybe you just have your phone on you or something.
Okay.
There I go. My bad. I was talking to myself.
Always that mute button. Yeah.
I was talking to
Let's
myself.
Go to the next caller. Doing a great job.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's go to the next caller. 347496.
That's super.
You're on the air. 347-496.
Peace.
My boy Simon.
Sound like Simon's number. He might be out.
Are you there? Are you there, brother? Hello? Okay. We'll come back. We'll come back. All right. Caller from 860-680. You're on the air.
How y'all doing?
Peace.
Peace.
How you doing, Brother Phil? I kind of tuned in on awkwardly, but my question in regards to the feminine principle, especially women, one thing I find interesting is that this is she out of Ashana Shakur, this is the first time putting a woman as a terrorist list, particularly a black woman. One weird question I would say is how much in the psyche does it play against regular women, especially women of color, when they know that a colored woman is the first to be, let's say, put on the terrorist, or we know that they're attacking women for decades, for centuries. But how much more in the mind does it play to some of the women, even the one young woman that's starting to come around in the sense of understanding, awareness, that when they see that, a woman that was fighting like just back in time, and then now for them to go out their way to go get her. That's one of my questions. I don't know if I'm clear enough.
Yeah, it's to put somebody on a terrorist watch list who's wanted for murder. You might as well put the rest of Congress on a terrorist watch list.
Yeah,
all of those bastards are terrorists. To be all on the watch list. That's just them trying to make a point. It also shows on a broader scale the fact that we as black men can no longer protect our black women. Especially we have not roped in the necessary resources to be able to create the perimeter of security that a black man in a community of black men, in a community of black families, and cohesive a community of black families would be able to protect our women. At this point, that's a broader, more metaphysical look at the situation, but that's the way it is. The more independent sisters we become, the less protective we can be of them. And we have forced our sisters into taking up masculine roles, and they have also helped by playing on the fact that they have destroyed the ability for the black male to develop into black men so that they can assume those kinds of responsibilities for our sisters. That in itself is just indicative, it's almost symbolic of the kind of impotence that we have as black men to be able to protect our own. At this particular time, our sister who's wanted for murder has never created any terrorist act. They want to terrorize, they want to create a terrorist aura around what she represents. Yeah. You have to understand that it's about representing a specific kind of theme that you want to attach to someone. You demonize someone to legitimize their execution. And this is essentially what they're trying to do, put a bounty on her head the way they did. She is the female bin Laden now. And playing on that particular game, who knows if there's a bounty? Who knows who's over there in a poor country that would take advantage of that, especially she being so close to Guantanamo.
Oh, wow.
What better to get her into Guantanamo, to be the first female into Guantanamo?
I didn't know she was that close to Guantanamo Bay. I haven't looked at the map where that's located. Yo, that is pretty much right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to look at these little dynamics that are happening around that. There are other little subtexts also that can be actually paired with that explanation. But, of course, everyone needs to do their own due diligence to look into this, not just as an overview of story, but to bring it to light, the way we did with Mumia, to make sure that they do not execute that person, or to bring it to public light and to tell the story. Not just tell about the terrorists wanted for the murder, and I saw these wanted for the murder of this police for blah, 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 bullshit. What they need to do is to start putting out the real story. Those brothers that are out there, ex-Panthers, who know the true story, they need to write the real story and to blast it. Put that story on blast about what happened so that the world knows and is refreshed in their memories. You got 2 or 3 generations that are new to this. They don't know what's going on. They don't have a history. They have twistery. And so we got to take that twistery and get rid of that and bring some of the old head Panthers to write the real story of Sashata again, Ashata Shakur. They have to rewrite that and bring it up to speed. We got to renovate that story. We got to enhance it, bring it out, make it legend so that it becomes something that the people say, no, you ain't going to touch her. No, you ain't going to do no, what's that other bullshit movie that's out here that they're pushing, which is one of the biggest sorts of crop about Doc something, supposedly what killed Obama. I mean, what's his name? Osama?
Oh, Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30, you know, and they even have some, you know, this Neanderthal cave woman up for an Academy Award for her part. Who gives a rat's ass? The man's been dead, and they had to build up this goddamn story in Hollywood, weaving this nonsense to make us believe that they went in there with their suit. The people who were there said ain't nobody was living in there. The people around there, they ain't even going around there to tell the story about what was going on. But we ain't going to do no Zero Dark 30 in Cuba on our sister. And we have to bring that story up. We have to bring it in the minds of the people, make it present in the minds of the people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Real talk. Well, one thing, I've never been to one of your lectures yet, but I do want to attend to the one that's coming this month, though. I mean, one thing I find interesting, you do long lecture. I was doing 12 hours. I say, wow, I didn't know a lecture goes that long for one day on 12 hours. Usually, a lecture goes.
No. It's not going to be 12 hours. It's going from 12 to about 8. There's going to be a break in there. It's not a lecture. It's actually an exchange of ideas.
Okay. That's it. I'm gonna try and get King Simon to get back on the line, see if he's on here, so he could go ahead and put that announcement out.
Yeah, I did talk to Simon, and I think I told him that I might come to the one maybe on Sunday. I don't know if I can make the Saturday one, but I think I talked to him.
Well, for anybody who wants information, anyone who wants information on that, they can go up online on the UKSnow.org and put their names on our mailing list. We're sending out constant contact information about the event, and they can get in contact with us through the university, or they can call us at 800-847-1291. Again, 800-847-1291, or better yet, go direct and call Brother King Simon or text him at area code 347-496-1022. Again, 347-496-1022.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for bringing a different light to that thing. Because I always baffle my mind about, especially with the women. It lets us know that most of our men, we're not really doing our job. At times, the enemy does what he wants to our women, and we sit back and allow it. So, thank you for the sharing info. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, brother. Thank you. All right. Red, you want me to go ahead and see if Simon's back?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see. Caller from 347-496. 347-496. No deal. He might be having the same thing. He must not have came back with us. Yeah, right. He established.
Hard work with Dr. Valentine. He went to the booth and meditated. He's gone out of here.
He's gone right now. Okay. Well, we
brother
got
standing up. He'll fall asleep standing up. That's how hard working the brother is.
we got 9 minutes. So, Dr. Valentine, do you want to go ahead and give any information out to the people one more time? One about your classes starting on the solstice, and two, your event coming up, because we're down there about 8.5.
Oh, okay. All right. I appreciate the time. Listen, much love to you, brothers, for the work that you're putting out there. Like I said, the elders are proud, and I'm loving everything that you're doing. What I want to tell everybody and the family, that Saturday's event is a private invitation-only event. The working title is One Up on the Frequency, Part 3. And it's private, exclusive, no holds barred, no BS, as I said. It's a gathering of my dark matter think tank. In other words, we're going into places where most people do not investigate. They do not see or actually are made privy to some of the kinds of mind exchange that is inside of these kinds of environments and circles, but we're going to provide that. We're going to be dealing with fact-finding. We're going to be dealing with the solutions to physical, mental, psychospiritual diseases, interpersonal relationships, parenting, the destruction of the archetypal family, education, the feminization of men and women, and the narcissistic degeneration of our children's minds, so-called sovereignty issues, extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional, the Disclosure Project especially that's out there right now. So again, the seating on Friday is very limited, 50 to 55. A lot of people are calling in about that. A lot of them, from what I understood, Brother King Simon said, a lot of people have made promises, but they're not really putting down their monies yet. They have to get their monies up. So those who come in now, I think there was like 12 or 15 people already have their tickets ready for that. So we are last-minute people. So the best thing to do is to get there. If you truly want to join us on Saturday, make sure that you call in to Brother King Simon at 347-496-1022 and tell him what you want, and he'll let you know the process for making payment. There is a discount if you wish to go both days. So if you're just dealing with one day, then it's going to be one price. But if you do 2 days, then there is a definite discount. On the second day, which is that Sunday at the National Black Theater in Harlem, that, for those of you who are not familiar, is on 5th Avenue between 125th and 126th Street. And, of course, the title, that is what we call the brow-wiping title, would be Decrypting the Asymmetric Algorithms of Psychospiritual Warfare, which would be Part 1, the Electromagnetic Induction of Synthetic Consciousness Algorithms for the purpose of manipulating intent. Now, the doors will be open to that event, which is on Sunday at 2 p.m., and we will begin promptly at 3. Of course, that will be the time when Queen Mother Afua will be speaking, and she will be there to open the proceedings. Everybody come and support her in that event, and we want to see the place packed to the rafters. Last time I was there was really no room in the audience anymore. They were up on stage. That was fun. I liked it like that. That reminded me of the village. So everybody, please make Father's Day a memorable day for fathers. Sisters, treat your husbands, your loved ones, brothers, to this particular event. It's going to be uplifting for the family, definitely uplifting for our brothers and sisters in the conscious. And if you got a non-conscious brother or sister, bring them along, because, it's one thing to talk to or to actually preach to the choir, but it's another thing to preach to the converts or potential converts, as the church lingo goes. So invite people that you think might be interested. Don't invite any crazy people, please. Leave crazy at the door, or come by yourself. But give yourself a gift on Father's Day, and give a gift to the special man in your life. If you really love him, bring him out on Father's Day to a conscious event where you will definitely meet beautiful, conscious people there. I know red, blue, everybody's going to be there. Looking forward to it. The lecture on Sunday, again, will be dedicated to my good brother, my good friend, Bobby Hemmett. So I want you all to come out and give a shout-out. Let him know that you love him. And, of course, go up to his Bobby Hemmett Love Fund and contribute. I think it's now increasing 16 to 17,000. Come on now, we want to bring it to 20 to 25 because this brother is going to need therapy, and therapy costs. He can run through that monies in a couple of days, maybe a week. So it's going to be maybe, I think, about maybe 20 or 30 days are still left. The more you put in there, the better it would be for this brother in his recuperation. And with that, I want to thank you once again. Know the Ledge Radio has been doing it, and they are growing. That's the beauty about what you all are doing at Know the Ledge. It's growing. It's a seed that has taken root, but not only taken root, it's got redwood written all over it. It's got the kind of oak, the kind of big tree that they're going to say, wow, where did this come from? Well, if you're going to hit 3 million, I'm saying what you were speaking in earlier, it will hit 1 billion. Trust me. Easily it will hit 1 billion because this is going to be the 100th monkey, as we're talking about the metaphysical 100th monkey. It's happening. It's happening. Each one is reaching one. Each one is teaching one. And the torch, I feel very, very proud and very happy to say the torch is remaining lit, and it is lighting up whole new areas on the planet thanks to you brothers and brothers like yourself. With that, I will say to the family, thank you for your kind attention. And I hope to see the place so packed in there that we don't know where to put you all. You all be sitting on each other's shoulders. That's how we want it for Sunday. So spread the word. I know there are brothers who have told me that they're coming in from California. Some are flying in from Canada. It'll be coming from out of state. We want this to be a national affair. All right? And with that, I'm an old man. I need my rest.
Thank you, Dr. Valentine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Valentine, for the upgrade.
Quite welcome.
Powerful, powerful. Red, are you still there?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who contributed to tonight's program. KT the Arch Degree, Dr. Manhattan, Brother Blue Pill. I want to thank the family for coming out in droves to support the program tonight. Shout out to all of y'all. You know what I mean? Love and light to all of y'all. I want to remind the family to go visit our new website, theeventcenter.com. Sign the inquiry form if you have any events coming up. If you have any events, I'm talking about book releases, DVD releases, restaurant openings, whatever you are doing, visit the site and we cater to you. Also, kingscounty.bigcartel.com. I have about 5 or 6 new designs up there for the T-shirts. It's summertime. It's time to get the Kings County short sleeve T-shirts, women and men. And we also have for the little ones, ocean14corp.com. KT, you can take it from here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it all, but yeah. SoIonic.com, www.soionic.com. Please check out my site dealing with the holistic approach to healing, preventative medicine. We have the tonics, we have the capsules, we have baby formula, we have protein powder, as well as SadiesBabies.com for all your cloth diaper needs for your natural wears for your baby, for the newborn baby, for those who got baby showers and children on the way. Of course, Ocean 14, Seven Heaven. You know, check out Blue Pill and Greenleaf Herbal Solutions as well for your healing needs from Big Mama Green Pill. it. So with that, I'd like to once again thank. Hello.
Yeah, KT. On the right side, do you see the songs? I want to end with the AA anthem. Let's give AA some props too.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's it called? The AA anthem. Yeah,
just press play on that.
Okay, got you. All right. Well, yeah. Let me. We're gonna close tonight. Once again, let me thank the Master Teacher Phil Valentine, you Red, Dr. Manhattan, and everybody for joining us. And we will close with our brother AA Rashid's monster track, AA anthem.
Before we go, can we get Dr. Valentine to give his website one more time and his contact info?
That the website will be uksnow.org, uksnow.org for our next semester beginning July 20th. And, of course, the telephone number to call is 800-847-1291. Again, 800-847-1291. And that's not only for just dealing with the metaphysics semesters, but also for vaccination exemptions and for our Juice Plus, as well as health consultations, relationship consultations, and metaphysical consultations. Thanks again, beloved father.
Thank you.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Manhattan.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything that you wanted to leave us with before we go into that song? Because I know that you leave us with poetry on our show.
Well, I mean, since you twisted my arm,
you were over now for that.
I can pull something out of the hat. Okay.
All right.
The ancients. Here we go. The ancients laid the foundation so the children could finish building. With inscriptions on the pillars holding up the ceiling, then I came with the flames, the enraged child showing off his crane style, humbled by the masters. Now I know what my task is. Prophetic alchemy, what I scribble, it comes to pass. As illusionary time moves forward, no turning backward. The plan is distractive. With religion and our blackness, the end game is material and earthly entrapment. Focused on the chemtrails in Israel like it's real. People talking about Jacob and Ishmael, or the mythos of Isis Ra and the god El. The good news is the gospel or the God spell. The chakras of the earth, the dirt, where the gods fell. The temples of the west is where the rest of the gods dwell. Spirit is water. I'm just here quenching the dry spell. 44 and best salute.
Dude, there we go.
I do a bomb for myself.
Hey. There we go. All right, so you want me to go ahead and do that, Red?
Yes, sir. And when the song is over, click on the red button that says "End Now" or "End Episode." All right.
Got you. I got you. Way ahead of you.
All right, see y'all on Tuesday.
Peace.
I don't want over. Keep that stop on that if you can. You gotta go to another song.
You say that again?
That was an instrumental, my bad.
Okay.
Let's go with another.
Okay. Got it. I got it.
All right.
Anthem on the track. Yeah. Anthem, you a legend. Yeah. You said you was nice, too.
Sound barrier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Death is a friend of me, life is my enemy. Art is the recipe, come take a trip with me. Lubricate a mystery, tell them how it feel to be. Mounted on my mystery, Scorpios and centipedes. Death is a friend of me, life is my enemy. Art is the recipe, come take a trip with me. Lubricate a mystery, tell them how it feel to be. Mounted on a mystery, Scorpios and centipedes. Circle round sevens, primes when we pound up. Dear killer pain, Brooklyn burned the town up. Nets got the terminals, new generations of cookies that'll murder you. Fat souls with burners too, packs with gats that scream when you squeeze them. Damn niggas trifling, hating on my meaning, hating on a legend. Nigga copper 7, ignorance is heaven. They dubbing you to death, bootlegging for less. Tell them how the Africans took over the West, taught them how to dress, cleaning up they mess. Gucci for less, Polo for less, Louis for less. Boosters was best. Charge it to the game, nigga. African Express. Streets is a mess. Well dressed, deaf. Wakes never fake. Snakes kill rats. Cats kill snakes. Church on Nostrand. Crimes on Gates. Murders on Marcy. Big homie Coney. Little nigga army. Death is a friend of me. Life is my enemy. Art is the recipe. Come take a trip with me. Lubricate a mystery. Tell them how it feel to be. Mounted on my mystery. Scorpios and centipedes. Death is a friend of me. Life is my enemy. Art is the recipe. Come take a trip with me. Lubricate a mystery. Tell them how it feel to be. Mounted on my mystery. Scorpios and centipedes. 357s. Mountains all around us. Seen this shit coming. Oracles around us. I'm saying what I'm seeing. I'm changing up the scene. Validating queens. Let her know she mean. And she look clean. But guess what she said just the other day? If gossiping was Bati, all of y'all is gay. Games never play. Students of the master. Flow faster. I dare you to say this. Hot 97 nigga, dare you to play this. Bobbies and Valentines, Booker T and Coleman's. Thick pretty Bukrams, pioneer movements. Death is a friend of me. Life is my enemy. Art is the recipe. Come take a trip with me. Lubricate a mystery. Tell them how it feel to be. Mounted on the mystery. Scorpios and centipedes. Rolling up the equal. Come and peek the sequel. It's the God hour. Leaning on this beat. Let's build a tower. The real Kush is African. The Reggie for them cowards.